Now I'm live. Hello, ladies and germs. Welcome back to the Mehcast, and oh, what a motley crew we are. We are back with more...
Now I'm live.
Oh, God.
Hello, ladies and
God
germs.
damn it. Welcome. Sorry.
Something else go wrong?
No. Well, here's the thing. So, apparently, besides the argument... and that happened earlier today with what we had just witnessed.
Oh yeah, we just watched the latest death battle, by the way.
Which was...
Hey, go check that episode out.
Now, here's the thing. I wouldn't have much of an issue with that death battle itself had they not felt the need to cap.
I think they were mostly going for G1 Megatron.
Yeah, but the thing is that if they were going to composite it's for so much for Optimus Prime, why didn't they do the same for Megatron?
That's a good question.
And like I said, it's just for consistency's sake and nothing more. And the thing is, if you composite from Megatron, and there's a lot
of the video game,
there is a lot of
an easy puzzle to solve.
There's a lot of absurd stuff in G1 in the G1 not just in the G1 stuff, but in every other thing, including in like the Unicron trilogy and whatnot.
Yeah,
they even showed a bit of Unicron trilogy Megatron, and guess what?
And they showed bits of Bayformers and animated, but they didn't go with a lot of it.
And the thing is that...
Unicron Trilogy Megatron is one of my favorite interpretations of the character.
And the thing is that... considering the last few death battles where Dragon Ball was featured or in any capacity, it kind of makes me feel bad for people who are Dragon Ball and Naruto fans. And at this point in time, because aside from, maybe a, Might Guy versus Naruto, or Jiraiya versus, Muten Roshi, when has either of those shows had a legitimate victory?
Well, I'd argue that neither of them... Oh, wow.
And here's the thing. And yeah, that was one time where both of those shows that have taken massive L's to the face ended up, fighting each other.
And we... Oh, hi, Prowler.
And the thing is that... And yeah, Naruto... And yeah...
Oh, wow,
and that
twist got fucking wasted, didn't it?
What?
Uncle Aaron being the Prowler.
Oh.
I mean, granted, everybody saw Spider-Verse, statistically speaking.
I mean, considering how much money that movie made, I'd be surprised if certain people haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, it did so much for animation as a whole. And it's like, there are a lot of really interesting feats that have been discussed about Megatron and whatnot. Even him and Optimus Prime fighting like a universal multiverse level threat. And it's just... They only mention that briefly in the friggin' black boxes, which... Not the place to put that, guys!
Yeah, we've
been over why that format is stupid. I don't care if people in the comments section are going to tell me...
Hello.
Hi, Sonic. I don't care if people in the comment sections or when that episode goes up tell me, oh, that guy with terrible opinions is back again.
Yeah,
and
I
I
mean,
swear
you
to
have
God,
that one.
I can
and I,
I mean, you have-
understand where you're coming from here.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I've had
But
too many
at the
people
same
tell
time,
me
I
that
at the same time, I honestly think that this is just this. Oh, we've got a remote mine. I do think that this is it's a good fight. I do think it ended quite early in terms of like what it could have done.
yeah, I
And,
got no problems with the fight.
Megatron,
know.
Megatron
Oh.
and Frieza like blowing each other to bits like that is
No, that was
perfectly-
actually that was actually kind of neat.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
It's just,
I still hate the matchup.
like if you're gonna go for something like that, go for Megatron versus Sinestro, guys.
oh.
Because
And
that
again,
because
that's
that actually has more thematic similarities than Megatron fighting Frieza.
And
Honestly,
somehow
I'm just leaving it.
Prowler, and somehow
And here's the
Prowler
thing,
is
that would
hooked into
and here's the
my
thing, you wouldn't
comms.
need to. Here's the thing, you could even composite all the stuff for Megatron on for him going up against Sinestro. Oh, and vice versa. Guess what? Sinestro's still gonna win.
Yeah.
Why? Because Green Lantern shit is, absurd. Alex, you as a Green Lantern fan, would you care to
yeah.
explain
Quite
why that is a correct assumption?
okay. So there's a few. The Green Lantern Corps has some of the most absurd feats in the history of DC Comics. Honestly, yeah, I feel targeting system. Hello, fuck it. Okay. Quite frankly, and even if you don't take into account the there we go. Even if you don't take into account some of the whack ass shit they do, when they've got like stuff like the parallax powers for for Hal and things like that. And hi Eddie. That's not actually Eddie, but he looks like Eddie from the fucking Spider-Man 3 movie. Anyways, yeah.
Oh.
So the Green Lanterns have pulled off some, quite frankly, bogus nonsense, and if they like, I'm struggling to come up with the specifics of it, but they've like some of the things that that Superman has done that caused him to win the fight against Goku, who in Goku versus Superman
Kind of pales in comparison.
yeah, they can like the Green Lanterns will like create a big old chain and haul planets around sometimes.
Yeah,
out
and
of
that chain-
sheer willpower.
Yeah, and that chain was actually something Superman had to use to help carry Earth and whatnot.
Yeah, like that. Like I said, facilitated by the Man of the Man of Steel's feats facilitated by fucking
By Hal
Sorry, man.
Jordan.
yeah, by Hal Jordan. And sorry, I'm vaguely distracted by my attempts to kill all of these innocent mercenaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, now the thing for Frieza Black, it's like, even though he is stronger than both of Mastered UI Goku and Vegeta, Ultra Ego Vegeta by that point. Thing is, by that point, a Master UI Goku and Vegeta and Frieza don't really have a lot of feats in those forms, to be honest.
Well,
They really don't.
You can kind of make comparisons with their previous
I know that. I'm
with their
just
previous
saying.
forms and stuff like
I'm
that.
just-
Like they don't need unique feats in order to be able to in order to be able to be calculated with. If like
I
you
know
can
that,
say,
I'm
okay,
just-
so this is X amount of times stronger.
Yeah.
And yes, I know we're getting into fucking. I'm gonna shill out Kevin's link right now.
I know. I'm just saying, like, for I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like you know, maybe give more details to that. Those feats are just kind of to give detail to.
Yeah.
To this whole shindig.
I
I
kind
mean,
of
yeah, because we literally know
got,
nothing about Black Frieza other than they're
from what I
slightly
got of
stronger
y'all's
than Goku and
conversation-
Vegeta.
So from what I got of y'all's conversation as I was... Thank you, game.
And Sonic, the thing is like, I just kind of wish that.
Yeah, from what from what I got of their conversation, of what I heard of it, I get the impression that that was one of the things you guys were talking about, like how Frieza Black hasn't had the most development in terms of power level and things like that. That's so.
It's just something he got.
Yeah, just
not,
I guess
it's
just the humble Vegeta and Goku, basically.
Yeah, and
honestly, I kind of wished Frieza had stayed dead. I was
let's.
I mean, we all
kind of wished Frieza would have just stayed dead instead of just.
Also, that the GT canon was canon, but you know that's just me.
Bit by bit, I'm falling under your spell. Your smile's all I need to see to know where.
What? No, I'm still not bitter.
Darkness, won't you come along with me? Hold my hand.
Now the thing is, and in case. Now the thing is like Death Battle. Oh, I still. I'll remember when Death Battle tried to say, like, the realms within Bleach are supposedly planet-sized just because all they...
I didn't know I could do that.
Just because they say, like, the Soul King... so the only souls that go to Soul Society are from Earth. I'm like, that you know of. Plus, there are literal bits of the manga and, you know, the anime that say, yeah, they've, you know, there's a bit more to it. Like, if Soul Society was just an individual planet that one can travel to just by going up into space and whatnot, oh boy, there would be some problems.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta web that up.
Plus, as the thing is that at the world of the living, it isn't, as I've said before, isn't just Earth. It's not just...
yeah, it is a hypothetically infinite universe, so...
Yes.
Like, people, this is one of those... this is that thing that I get really frustrated about when every science fiction series decides that Earth needs to be oh, hey, look at that, Miles is being Shazam now.
That Earth is being like the center
Earth,
of the...
yeah, Earth is being like the center of the fucking universe. There's like where everything fucking happens. Like, Earth is a tiny, insignificant speck in the greater scheme of things,
as
and
Doctor Strange has said.
Yeah, if we do things like, you know, say Stargate SG-1, where we're investigating, you know, shit from ancient aliens and things like that, and they they left like weapons and technology behind, and then we run afoul of them. And when they start trying to fuck with us, okay, I appreciate that kind of storyline thing, because that's
and the funny thing is like
getting involved.
And the funny thing is that at the
I'd like to see alien ghosts, is what I'm saying.
I kind of, I would be interested to see how Kubo would design like an alien Soul Reaper and whatnot. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. I want to see like a Wookiee as a Soul Reaper.
Oh yeah. We need. We need to find.
I mean,
we need to find somebody
I
who's a
mean-
fan of Bleach and Star Wars to commission like a Wookiee as a Soul Reaper. Just imagine
I
them.
could see that. I mean,
Imagine a
apparently,
Wookiee. Just imagine a Wookiee wearing a Shihak show.
That's
I mean,
fucking
considering the
amazing.
fact that Burn the Witch proven that there's like a soul world for like every country, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a soul
Burn the
world
Witch
for
actually
for different planets.
Yeah, Burn the Witch actually has a version, a Soul World for England, and so
Yeah, which-
Alex, it's not
okay.
like it's
Miles? The reactor killed my friend. I need to shut it down. This thing provides free power to the city of New York. You're being incredibly petty about this.
The Tinkler. I said Tinkler for a minute. I said
God, this is such a fucking like ends justify the means kind of thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I don't
Like,
really like.
oh, I'm gonna shut down this thing because because they fucked up. Like, what are we gonna
My
do?
friend,
Like,
you killed my friend, therefore I need to become a villain so I can kill you because
now
ends
I'm-
justify the mean.
and now I'm dying like this. Miles, this is entirely your fault.
okay, and now
Miles is currently holding his fucking.
So yeah,
gut
back what
that-
you were saying, Kevin, about the whole
Goddamn.
multiverse of Bleach.
yeah, the multiverse of Bleach is massive, because Soul Society
Oh no!
isn't just
Oh no!
a
You destroyed the evidence.
Soul Society isn't just like a planet-sized dimension and filled with Earth's denizens. Otherwise, how would it make sense for it to operate under its own space and time?
Well, yeah, there are
Because
arguments to be made in various regards about. Thank you, game, for not letting me play you. There are arguments to be made left and. Yeah, at this point in time, I kind of feel like you'd be justified to in taking this kid down, because he's basically might have almost caused an accident that would have potentially
he destroyed
killed
New York.
millions of people. This
Yeah.
is the kind of thing. Oh, the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. This is the kind of shit that Peter Parker took down Dr. Octopus for. You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
And here's the thing, and at that point, I mean, unlike with what's going on here, Peter was actually justified in shutting down the fusion reactor because one, it was going haywire, and two, it would have killed people, like it killed Rosie.
And possibly destroy New York.
So, here's something interesting. In this game, for the music track that plays in Magmoor Caverns, it's essentially lowered Norfair from Super Metroid.
Oh, nice.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
neat.
Why
Yeah.
are you standing right
Yeah,
next
take a
to
listen.
something that can fall on you?
Yeah, take a listen in some time. And in case you're
All
wondering,
right, I will.
And the weird thing is, Alex, on my old YouTube channel when I played the Prime Trilogy version and of it on my Raw playthroughs, it was for some. Apparently, I did end up getting a copyright claim for one specific track, and it was the underwater ambient.
Ooh, and you're down.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm just like, okay, at least it's not, at least it's actually, the copyright holder and not some rando.
Not some rando like
like
I
that
had
one
of my
person
Resident Evil
who
videos.
who claimed in one of my Metroid Prime 2 video, it was under the pretense that it was using a song that came out from
years after the video game did.
Yeah, because the game released.
I
made
happened.
that argument, and when I tried telling them, hey, this is not, like, hey, this is not. The
Great Wall could
that-
not have been your track.
yeah, it could not have been
I
your
do that with
track.
one of my Resident Evil.
This game came. The original release date of Metroid Prime 2 was 2004.
Yeah. I had to make that argument with somebody.
But
who
apparently
claimed
that didn't go
music
through.
from one of my Resident Evil videos. That's weird because when I did that for my, I healed. God damn it. When I did that for one of my Resident Evil videos, because I every now and again, I go through my copyright claims and figure out, okay, who's doing what to my videos now? Because like I used to post so many videos that it was spam basically, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was nothing but fucking white noise.
You know, the weird thing is that so do you remember what Darkside Phil in it ended up having to do just to get at his popularity going?
I
What?
remember he started off by like winning a Street Fighter tournament.
No, I mean like in terms of, you know, YouTube and whatnot. He had
I
to.
remember
He abused
that
the.
a lot
He
of
practically abused the algorithm.
Oh yeah, because he was trying to be, you know, like the first one to get stuff out and you know, play in the game, him to try and make it so that his videos would pop up first. That was kind of a thing that happened with the Irate Gamer. Although, well, the funny thing was that wasn't him doing that. That was YouTube doing that so that they could have like a slightly more family-friendly alternative to the AVGN.
So
So YouTube has always been fucking dumb, by the way. If you
Yeah.
ever needed to, if you ever needed proof about that, YouTube has always tried to play the system against their most popular creators for some reason. But yeah, all I was gonna say is one of my Resident Evil videos had a song claimed, and I wound up looking up the song. It's a very good song. I can't remember what song it was, but one of my back when I was still recording footage with a camcorder on a fucking
I gotta
TV like
go
Darkside
eat.
Phil
My food
did.
just came in.
oh
Like-
yeah.
At
I was
least
gonna
I
say-
stopped, you know. Oh, like Darkside Phil was still doing that, like well after I had
The only
switched over
reason-
to doing other
and here's the-
shit, you know.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and the only reason he did stop doing that was not
PS4,
because
yeah.
No, not that. It was because of the fact that he had to,
Oh yeah.
as in,
Well,
and he had no choice, but
yeah.
to do it. Otherwise, his videos would continue to tank.
Okay, game. Why are you telling me to do things that aren't advantageous? Okay, yeah, but I you know, back when I was still recording, you know, videos with a fucking camcorder on a TV, and fun fact, I had I set up my lighting and such that I had, you know, generally decent video quality. A lot of people actually told me early on that they couldn't tell I wasn't using a capture card because I actually did my lighting well, Phil. Well, granted that, you know, that changed over time because, you know, shitty 480p camera, you know, I did that longer than I should have, but unfortunately, you know, that's not the point of what I was saying. So they claimed that I used a song in one of my Resident Evil videos that was from an album that hadn't been released by the time the game came out. And
Resident Evil 4 is old, man.
Oh no, I was talking about Resident Evil remake for the GameCube.
Oh, it's still old.
Yeah, like the song, that game came out in like 2002. The song came out in like 2004, if I'm not mistaken. So, I told them like, hey, the only content in this is from Capcom. You guys don't own this. Like, this is not a thing that you can
Do.
really seriously get away with claiming, you know?
And unfortunately, it's like if I actually continued on with trying to fight the copyright claim, then I would be dragged to court, and I'm not really willing to go through that drama.
Honestly, like, if for some things like it's not so much like, oh, so we got to get through the hole. Oh, that's my fault.
Okay,
Miles,
so currently the area that I'm in is the ice area, Fendrena Drifts.
How do I?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Gizmo.
Hey, Gizmo.
I'm sure
you going on?
you know, I'm playing Metroid Prime Remastered.
What the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Why am I all of a sudden in the fucking? Why are you taking your goddamn helmet off, Aaron?
Now for those...
Why are you taking your mask off, Miles?
Now for
We're on a fucking subway. How are you guys talking?
Now for people who don't follow me on Twitter or are not part of this server,
just give me a minute. I'm gonna start up my stream.
When I made the announcement. Yep. And here's the thing, I wanted to go and try to do more grinding for Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, but between having only 2 days off from my job, which is full-time, keep in mind, and having to grind up all of my team members to level 60 or maybe 70, just so I can clear the rest of the game, even though I've long since captured all the shadow Pokemon and whatnot, I don't feel a lot of motivation to redo Mount Battle all again and whatnot. I just
when I was
like,
trying to finish the DLC for Spider-Man.
I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna call it quits here, because I've already done Mount Battle and Coliseum. I don't need to do this again.
Guys,
and the challenge that...
This is PS5.
And the challenge that Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness will have you do for Mount Battle, when you try to do it, and it tells you to clear the entirety, and I do stress the entirety of Mount Battle without changing your roster once, going from 1 to 100 without changing any part of your party at all at the PC and whatnot. After you do all of that, you get the choice between the three different Johto starters: Cyndaquil, Totodile, and Chikorita at level 5, but they all know Blast Burn, Hydro Cannon, and Frenzy Plant, and which are essentially those types equivalent to Hyper Beam. As in, you hit the enemy with a really big attack, and then you gotta recharge. So now here's the thing: if you want all 3 Johto starters, you gotta do it 3 times with the same conditions that I had just described. Do you think that sounds like it's worth it?
Not really.
I wouldn't expect any sane man to say yes.
So does anybody here remember Swag Bucks?
No.
Okay, so Swag Bucks was this reward service it still exists. It's still pretty good. But I remember when you, like, rather than redeeming your points for, like, your Swag Bucks for Amazon gift cards, you could actually redeem them for video games. And one of the video games that I saw on there that I really wanted to get, because I saw a copy of it at a garage sale in Detroit, but my mom didn't let me buy it because, you know, I live in Mississippi, and she didn't want, you know, she said, it'll get fucked up in the car ride home. One of the games that I wanted to get on Swag Bucks was Pokemon XD Gala Darkness. And the more I've seen you play the game, the more glad I've become that I didn't get the game, because it seems like I wouldn't have had a whole lot of
probably
fun
not, but
as time
again,
went on.
but here probably not. But the
Hey,
thing
this
is
Vengeance
that
Tower.
it's kind of an acquired taste for that specific game. Colosseum still has the unique appeal and whatnot, and it's still like really solid to this day. But XD Gale of Darkness is like one of those if you liked if you liked the first game, but you wanted it to be a little less dickish when it comes to the level curve. So, and the thing is that
honestly, I'm kind of in the camp that I became a member of the camp that Pokemon probably isn't for me, because Pokemon kind of stopped being what I wanted it to be after like G1, G2, I think. And it didn't evolve into what I wanted it to be until Pokemon Black, Pokemon Black and White, and
so
then
Gen
after
5.
Black and White 2. Yeah, until after Black and White 2, you know, after Black and White 2, it just kind of stopped.
Yeah, it's like,
well,
here's
like,
the thing,
after
Gen
that,
4 was
like...
kind of what laid the foundation for what ended up laying the foundation for Gen 5 to be what it was and whatnot. Because it had all the bells and whistles. But the thing is, a Gen 5, I feel like I kind of refined.
We interrupt.
And a lot of the.
We interrupt. We interrupt your regularly scheduled Spider-Man to bring you L.A. Noire.
Now, and the thing is like, I like. And the thing
like,
is,
you know,
and at the very least, unlike a lot of people who have played Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and I do mean a lot of people, I could at least have the literal flex that I captured all of Greevil's Pokemon without, having to retry him.
Miles, I'd like it if you could not waste our camouflage time by action. Thank you.
Gizmo, would you say that that's a legitimate flex?
Hey, there we go.
Gizmo? Gizmo!
I think Gizmo...
Dun 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 dun.
Okay.
Dun dun dun. He's mute and
Head to the auto shop in Chinatown.
and deafened.
Gotcha. Press R3 to track the underground cable. Or cash, rather.
You want to know what one of the joke pitches for, or the runaway guy's name was?
One.
Press L to pee.
Huh.
And I'm just like, oh,
Press
Emil.
F to pay respects.
I'm just like, oh, Emil, you're so silly. Now here's the reason why I say, and the reason why I ask if you would consider, or what I was able to pull off in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness a legitimate flex, is just because, let's put it this way, you've got not only 3 fully evolved Pokemon to catch, which are Rhydon, Exeggutor, and Tauros, which, by the way, Tauros never had an evolutionary line, but you get the gist of it.
Yeah. You know, something
And as well as the 3 legendary birds. People would say it's recommended to, skimp out on...
There we go.
On trying to do that whole battle. Oh, and just stick with trying to catch 1 or maybe 2. 3 if you're lucky. And then just as KOing the others, because you'll get another chance. Anzac Greevil and all of his Pokemon. Not a lot of people could really say that they caught all of them in one go. I may be happy to be one of those people, but still. Oh, I'm sure it's not that big a flex. Let's be real here. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum.
So speaking of Spider-Man, and there's so you've seen the model for Mary Jane in the previous game, right? Yeah. It looks a little bit, you know, it doesn't look the best, but it looks all right. And then you see the model for her in the next game, and it looks way, and you know, Remastered doesn't look very good, but not hardly anything looks good in the Spider-Man Remastered, or aside from, you know, the environments. But that aside, Spider-Man 2, Mary Jane looks much better. And then you look at the actress who plays her, who the character was allegedly modeled after. And you see that they took a woman with bright red hair and gave her a very mousy brown. Like, what's Mary Jane's defining characteristic that everybody thinks of? Red hair. She has bright red flaming hair, the color of a cherry red Gibson SG. And it's an icon. It's like if they made her blonde and had Gwen Stacy be a redhead, it'd be just as egregious as this, you know? Although, honestly, making Betty Brant out to be a blonde who literally dresses the way Gwen Stacy used to right before she died. Ow, Miles.
Out, Miles. God damn it, Miles, you did it again.
It's kind of funny, but yeah. But did you really need to be that over dramatic about it? Anyways,
Alex, don't forget.
You could have just opened the fucking trunk.
Alex, don't forget. This is the game where you're getting to experience the over-exaggerated swagger of a black teenager.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, real GameSpot quote.
Look at the fucking texture quality on that snow there.
Hey Gizmo.
Hey Gizmo.
Yep.
So yeah, look at the texture quality on that snow. How do I activate?
I was talking to Alex, like telling him like you remember me practically yelling in triumph after I was able to catch all of Greevil's Pokemon in one go, right?
No.
I could have sworn you did, because you were there.
Yeah, I literally don't remember that.
It was from the XD stream.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, when
guys,
was that?
look at this shit.
A month ago.
There you go, then. That's why I don't remember.
Let's see here. Somebody's chatting. Isabella Grace 219 says, "What's up? So how's your day going?" Going pretty good. I had a very rough night of sleep because it's cooled down enough that we can turn off the air conditioner, but that also means that now I can hear all of the bullshit that goes on outside. And like everything, I had to turn my phone on to Do Not Disturb because every little buzz was getting on my nerves throughout the night. Yeah, it was very strange. But yeah, guys, look at my stream here. All of the bullshit that goes on outside.
Alex, I can hear your thing.
No, that's Gizmo.
Okay.
Yeah. So look at the texture quality of this snow.
Oh dear, that's
I'll be back.
Yeah. This is the PS5 version of this game, and I don't have it set to maximum texture quality.
I remember one thing. Why is my shadow so pixely on PS4?
That's something I said, isn't it?
That's from our Resident Evil 6 co-op.
Yes. Yeah, if
Okay,
we look
have
at
to
the
make
rest
sure.
of the snow texture on this car, the stuff that is further away from me... Hang on. Literally the stuff I can't see is higher resolution than the stuff that is right within my field of view.
What are you playing?
Miles Morales.
The
AKA
PS5
the
version of Miles Morales.
AKA the over-exaggerated swagger of a black teenager.
The fact that reviewer said that with a street-sounding face. Holy shit.
Hang on. Why do we need to have every individual aspect, like every individual inner link of this fucking suit is rendered?
Keegan.
But we can't get the...
Now,
But we can't get the snow texture to not look shitty.
okay, so
Hang on, the ground
Gizmo,
looks fine. What
you actually, so getting into some other topics, Gizmo, you
the hell is that?
who actually brought this up on our new news and topics thing. So,
See, this is fine. I'm okay with this
So-
stuff, but
so if
stuff
so
that I
for those
th-
who
this-
so for those who watched the Bleach Each Thousand Year Blood War anime dubbed, like me and quite a few other people, all that I know of Yoruichi Shihoin, whom throughout the entirety of the 2004 anime, when she's in her human form, or not in her cat form, keep in mind, and she has been voiced by Wendy Lee, a renowned
legendary voice actress.
a renowned voice actress known for such roles as Faye Valentine in Cowboy Bebop, and
Okay.
she was also TK in Digimon Adventure 1, on the younger version of him, anyway.
Okay,
and-
so New People says...
and she's also
hang on, real quick. This guy, New People, says, hello, your stream is great, well done, your content looks really cool and fun. I know people who are able to get more than 10 views on average and up to 15 views to build an entire audience and earn affiliate or partner status. Add me on Discord to get started.
No, you're a bot.
You're
get
getting-
get out of here.
Yeah, you're getting banned.
Anyway,
Welcome to the Banhammer.
so Wendy Lee has voiced Yoruichi for years and was looking forward to voicing her in the Thousand Year Blood War anime. Unfortunately, it seems that it had the ill timing of coming out when, well, everything had to be tacked on diversity. So,
As I
instead
as was my watch phrase for all of Weeb Wars, it just keeps getting more retarded, which we can talk about later.
well, here's the thing. It's actually kind of going to segue into something else. So, the actress in question that's replacing Wendy Lee as Yoruichi is Aniris Quinones, whom many would know as Mirko from My Hero Academia. So the bunny girl is now the cat girl.
Okay.
Yeah, we're I'm not in favor of interspecies relationships, I gotta say.
And yet you all wanted Yoruichi to have Death by Susanoo.
Yoruichi is not a cat.
Okay,
Is not an
Gizmo.
actual cat. As
Gizmo,
she is
this is your head,
soul-
and this is the joke. I knew Kevin would appreciate that.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Fucking hell.
Anyway, so the thing is, Yoruichi is a lot of things. She is very flirtatious and often, and though she has quite a few serious moments throughout the entirety of Bleach, she still comes off as though she would still be able to make a wise crack every so often, and be able to join in on a joke, or hell, make the joke even better. Or plus, she has no problems just standing around completely in the nude. However, However, this and Wendy Lee was able to you do this flirtatious nature of Yoruichi very, very well. Because that is just, part of her craft. And
Right. So where's the hate coming from it though?
the thing is that the actress who's currently voicing her doesn't give off that same energy. Like, don't get me wrong. I know that the few lines that she has in there, she is being somewhat serious, but even the Japanese voice actor still sounds like Yoruichi.
So basically, she's not as good as Wendy Lee.
Well, not only that, but there's also the fact that she just comes off as though she's completely no-nonsense. And Yoruichi is not no-nonsense.
Yeah, if it's one of those things where it's I heard a voice clip and it's the equivalent of Rooster Teeth replacing Crow with fucking the guy
Jason
from
Liebrecht.
Jason Liebrecht. I was gonna call him the guy from Shadow Warrior, but he's not even the guy from Shadow Warrior anymore either.
No, he's
And the funny thing is, I could have
he's
used that as a
Dabi
comparison
he's Dabi in
too.
My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I could have used Shadow Warrior as a comparison too, because the guy they replaced Jason Liebrecht with in Shadow Warrior doesn't sound anything like the fucking character. Lo Wang is his name, by the way.
You don't mess with Lo Wang.
And the thing is that, and it's not only an ill-suited replacement, and thus us showcasing the tacked-on diversity is literally giving people sloppy seconds.
Oof.
Well, it's also and taking jobs away from people who are not only more talented but also are better suited to the role and were part of the fucking.
And Wendy Lee has reprised at least two of her roles in the Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War anime. She was I believe she was Menali among the various Arankars that appear in Bleach, and she's also Tatsuki as well. Well, she came back for both of those roles, and yet Ryan Johnston couldn't be bothered to cast her back as Yoruichi just because of diversity points.
That's brain dead.
It is. And the thing is like, again, I would not have an issue with this if, we didn't have a long-established voice who had been voice acting the character for nearly a decade.
Oh yeah, it's like if we can't. It's like if all of a sudden, and somebody decided, and Phil Lamar, he can't voice Samurai Jack anymore.
Which, by the way, they're still some people are still insisting that,
No.
They're still insisting that only that
right
that white people can't and voice people of color.
Yes, they
and
can.
yet people of
Yes,
color
they
can
can.
voice act and yet people of color can voice act white characters.
White characters, or as they can cross play different roles and things like that.
Yeah,
And
it's
Right.
called
just,
acting with your voice. It's not. You have to, like
I-
Phil Lamar initially said, and before he became part of the problem, that you don't see race in a voice.
You don't see anything.
Yeah,
Ideally, I wouldn't have thought. How can you see me? You told me this was safe, game.
I trusted you, game.
Trusted you and you betrayed me. Yeah, so one thing I was gonna say is that I actually brought up Phil Lamar to a guy I work with. A guy I work with was looking for thinking about a new career, and And one of the things that came up was voice acting. And I said, hey, Samurai Jack? And he said, yeah. He's voiced by Phil Lamar. Look him up. And he was legitimately shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, anybody can do a fucking voice.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter as long as you've got the voice.
He like fucking Chris Ayers, who we brought up during the Frieza section of our little conversation here. Chris Ayers was, he was in a wheelchair doing the voice of Frieza, and he was still fucking acting, and like fucking what's his name? Tim Curry has done some voice acting. Tim Curry, he suffered a stroke, and Tim Curry, he has done some voice acting since his stroke. He hasn't done any on-camera work, but Christopher Reeve, he also did a lot of voice acting after his accident, and now I am become Ghost, invisible of spiders.
And what's even more egregious is about this, it's like Chris Ayers has played some dark-skinned individuals, especially in Full Metal Alchemist, where he played this outright scumbag who was trying to recruit Olivier Muta Armstrong to his in the homunculi his cause, and I'm like, I don't think anybody cared that the guy voice acting this character was, was not a person of color. I think people just cared that, he sounded in the part.
I'm sorry, I just saw something stupid on Twitter. Shocking, I know.
And unfortunately, Aniris, I am not really on good terms with her because here's the thing. There was a time like a couple years back where she was like, if quarantine continues because of capitalism, shows
Oh yeah, I remember
That's
that.
how that worked. Totally worked.
And I said,
that's not how that worked.
I said to her, or it could just be, or it could also be either riots.
Yeah, I remember our conversation that we had about that where we, I believe we talked about it actually during the pandemic. Miles, please.
And then it's
Miles, please.
And unfortunately, as wholesome as Zeno Robinson can be and whatnot, he needs better friends. Because if he's really gonna defend people like that and root for a media outlet's downfall just because they say things he doesn't like.
Oh yeah, niche gamer.
I'm sorry, Zeno. You've kind of lost me there. And of course, people will tell me that I'm being racist for telling a guy maybe he shouldn't be a dick.
Well, we can talk. That actually leads neatly into something that I was going to bring up. So, Shadiversity has gotten in trouble for talking about AI art positively again. I
just saw about that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just as stupid as it was last time because Shad was talking about, the skill that needs to go into, because Shad is an actual comic book artist.
Yeah.
Who has drawn actual comics
Oh,
in the
I've
past.
seen his Sanity Not Included comics.
Yeah, go look at Shadiversity's DeviantArt page for a quick, just a quick summary of, some of the cool shit that he's done. And he's quite a good artist. And, he's talking about using AI as a tool in the artist's arsenal.
Like a
black
serious
paper
tool.
versus white paper, like a different sized pencil, or like a drawing tablet versus versus a regular or drawing pad, and that kind of thing. How do I take you down? I'm right on top of you.
Alex,
Can I?
you might want to think about phrasing that a bit better.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, yeah. But yeah, so people, got on in his case, and he was talking about how like, his skill with how to use AI art has improved over time, as any skill is want to. Who are you threatening with that crowbar? Nobody's here. I mean, everybody is. Everybody who's out is going to be out cold right now, buddy. It's the middle of winter. But yeah, people got up in a tizzy about, him talking about AI art positively, and someone called him someone said that he transformed into Matt Walsh.
Bruh.
Once again, this person has everybody who has gotten on Shad's bad side about this that I can tell is somebody who has had very little actual interaction with him or the content that he's made, because the concept of AI art, period, because
like,
a
there's
lot of people are like,
issues with
it's just pushing a button. It's
I
not
get
just
where they're
pushing a
coming
button.
from.
It's a matter. It is a programming language that the computer doesn't understand any better than you do.
Yeah.
Like the stuff
You
that
gotta
the
actually
stuff that you
work
put
with it.
in. Yeah, you have to be skilled with teaching the computer or how to do things as much as you have to be generally skilled as an artist to be able to repair the things that the AI gives you as kind of a base canvas. Green
Right, but
container,
then,
white star.
but look at it from their
there we
perspective.
are.
There's artists that use,
Okay.
paint, crayons, pencils,
No.
like clay, computer tablets. They literally have to make strokes and lines and erase mistakes and start over. All that
Oh yeah,
stuff.
no.
But,
Well,
but
that's
they
a
have to
thing
move
that
their
you
hand
have to do.
and moving their hand constantly, there obviously looks like they're doing something, and they are doing something. But if they were, again, look at it from their
Just give me
perspective.
weapons.
If they just hear about AI art, they're just thinking, okay, so they're just typing a few things in, and they're just clicking on something and then waiting.
Yeah.
I think that's where it gets lost on them, because
Yeah.
every other form of art, you literally have to do something actively, constantly.
Honestly, having done some. Yes, thank you, game, for giving me a tutorial. Well, I'm aware. Ow.
Because, like I said before,
you.
when you're sculpting, you're drawing, painting, that kind of thing, you're constantly doing something with your hands. And sometimes maybe on the fly, sometimes in a rush, sometimes maybe you're just doing it at your own pace. At least you're doing something that makes it look like you have done something. You can see the erased pencil lines. You can see the fingerprints on clay pots, stuff like that. You can see the painted over mistakes on some paintings. When it comes to AI art, though, people can easily misunderstand it as something that people that are the only people that are lazy or are artistically challenged.
Well, the funny thing is when people say you just type it in and it gives you a perft result every time.
No.
And then
It's
go on to say stuff
like,
like, oh, it's completely garbage. Look at how bad this art is. And it's like, okay, so download the software. It's free. Give me a just give it a shot. You'll become as frustrated with it as I have, to the point where I just don't use it. It's easier to draw shit for me. I can draw stuff and have it come out with exactly what I want more consistently than a piece of software can. And when I'm when I'm telling it what to do.
Right.
There's a lot of trial and error that goes into teaching this stuff of how to work, and like people are like, "Oh no, I'm a real artist. I'm not gonna try," and this stuff. And I was like, "Okay, the software is free. You don't have anything to lose."
Yeah, you literally don't have anything to lose in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think it's
all
sort
you
of
have to
similar
do-
how. I think it's sort of similar how people back. How I think it's sort of similar how people still see acting, still see the career of acting or the hobby of video games as nothing but lazy or like what's the other word? Unsatisfying. Like, oh, you're pretending. Oh, that's fine. Why don't you pretend to get a real job? Or like, oh, you're playing video games. You're just pressing buttons. It's sort of I get sort of like that, I guess, because there's more to playing video games than just pressing a few buttons. There's more to
Yeah.
acting than just pretending. Depending on what the game is or what you have to do in the movie. There's like a lot of exercise. There's a lot of exercise. You have to get into career.
Yeah,
you have
there's
to get
line
into the
memorization.
character.
There's
Memorizing patterns. You have to
stuff
time
to do.
things right.
Yeah, I gotta also remember, or like where stuff is for
Right,
the game
like-
that I'm playing, because in order to
Seeing
get
beneath
the
the veil of national
complete
what?
ending and whatnot, you got go out of your way to
like
to find just about everything.
And
Yeah,
think of it also like this: when you finish making something, you can look it up. You can look up at the piece of art that you made and be like, "Yeah, I made that. I made this. It took me a long time." Well, with AI, on the other hand, I get AI. On the other hand, keep looking at it from their perspective. When you hear how they make AI art, it just sounds to them that you're still typing in words and letters and phrases, and that's it. You have to keep waiting and then type in a few more words and then wait. Then you gotta be a bit more specific with your words, and you keep wait again. You can see why they think that AI art is a crock of lazy shit.
deflated soccer ball. Why are people hiding? Why did you hide that in a time capsule?
Compared to like what actual artists are doing. Hell, even
I think one of the things that probably damaged the way it's perceived is that whole period of time where it was creating nothing but nightmare fuel.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because you remember when you used to be able to type into, like, I can't remember what the program was. It was either Google Lens or some shit like that.
Right.
And they'd sorry, crime in progress. I'm speedrunning this. Oh, well, I'm literally right here, so I guess I'll do it.
So, Gizmo, when you saw that Metroid Prime was getting remastered, what were your thoughts?
Oh.
What? Or was
That's
that
it.
it?
That was it. Oh, okay.
I can't wait for them to do the other two games, because from what I've heard, or especially from you guys talking about it out the direct, I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
by
you-
the
you-
way,
you're-
have you seen that Persona 3 Portable is coming to the Switch physically?
Can't wait to see how many things they censored.
No, it's untouched from the previous Switch version, but there's a digital version. It's the
one that's on PS4 and Xbox.
Yeah, it's the one that's already out there. But yeah, they're putting out a physical version. Fortunately, unfortunately, it's being published by Limited Run Games.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why? Look, it would have been
fucking
fine.
Sega product.
It would have been fine if it was limited run games before the whole debacle went on, but but at the same time, I'm at least glad.
Honestly, no. Like, ow.
Well,
So-
limited run games haven't really been doing much in terms of, controversial anything before people found out that they fired someone because hurt their politics. You gotta remember they haven't really been fucking with games when they're trying to put them on physical. Nowadays, though, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that too.
Honestly, I just kind of don't like the way limited run does shit. Like, they just announced a version of they just announced a collection of all the Star Wars games on one fucking cartridge, except for Coder 1 and 2. Coder 1 and 2 are download codes for some fucking reason.
Define all, because when you say all...
Hey, all of the ones that were previously released for Switch.
Okay.
They're all on one cartridge, like Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, Republic Commando, Jedi Knight 1 and 2.
Right.
And then Coder 1 and 2 are downloads. But yeah, they're putting those out there, and yeah.
I'm noticing a few missing ones in there.
Well, yeah, but those weren't released on Switch either.
But it would be nice to have them on physical.
Well, yeah.
Modern day.
I want Rogue Squadron on the Switch. For
Everyone's
instance.
talking about Rogue Squadron, but I want Jedi
Force
Power
Unleashed.
Battle.
Force Unleashed is on there too.
I would like
not
to have Jedi
not the HD version, I should stress.
Honestly, I think it would be nice to have Jedi Power Battles on
Switch. Force Unleashed on Switch is the HD version.
No, it's not. It's the Wii version.
No.
I don't think that's possible.
Could have sworn it was last time I recall.
Let's see here.
You're all forgetting about the greatest Star Wars game of all time.
What's that?
Masters of Terrascasi.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Why that?
Because fuck yourselves, that's why. No, but for real
Masters
though,
of Terrascasi is a great idea, but I don't like how it was executed, honestly.
Yeah, for real though, I really
It
do
has a
want to
big
see
head
Jedi...
code in that game.
I do want to see not just Jedi Power Battles, but I would like to see the Star Wars arcade, the arcade in there. Not the Star Wars arcade where it's like you're on the seat, but like the one where I don't know if anybody remembers this, but there was a Jedi arcade cabinet where you literally went through episodes 4, 5, and 6 with just a joystick and 2 buttons.
Yeah, that's literally the one. That's literally the original trilogy arcade game.
Yeah, I would like to see that on the Switch console. See what they could do with it, and to see if they're able to, do like the whole motion control thing, because it looks like despite there being motion controls on the Switch, they're utilizing it just even less so than the Wii did with a lot of their games, and most of them were shovelware.
By the way, I am playing this game with with the actual motion controls from the trilogy version.
Like how much of a missed opportunity was there with every time that you play a game and you're like,
please.
And you're like, they could have done this with the Switch controls, like Mario Party, for example. They could have done
right, actually. That is the Wii version remastered.
Oh, it is the Wii version.
Told you.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a good part to that though. There's a Smash Brothers style versus mode.
If I wasn't Spider-Man, this would be incredibly dangerous.
If you're a fan
God
of
only knows why the fuck you're doing this.
If you're a fan of Jank, there's a Smash Brothers style versus mode in that version.
I remember that. Yatsu Croshaw talked about getting I believe he and Gabriel Morton set the two characters as being Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker, and for some reason both of them were able to use Force Lightning in the game.
Oh, by the way, Alex, this area right here where I'm at, this area is what confirmed that Metroid Prime takes place before Metroid 2.
Miles,
I'll be back. I'm gonna get a
Miles,
drink.
please.
Because
Dear God.
as here's the thing, it can't. This game could not have taken place after Metroid 2, because right after Metroid 2 is the events of Super Metroid. How do I know this? Literally in the game's introduction. Samus leaves the baby Metroid in the care of the Sarah Station. She leaves to go find more work. Then suddenly, the station's under
I'm
attack,
back.
and she zips right back.
Too.
And I'm back, and I got myself a Ghost Energy orange creamsicle flavor.
And here is our first beam combo of this game. The Super Missile.
I haven't had Ghost Orange Creamsicle. I have had Rain Orange Creamsicle, and I liked
really
it
good
very
one.
much.
That's a good one. Rain has really good drink flavors.
Rain is one of my favorites. Unfortunately, it doesn't show out. It doesn't show up at the Dollar Tree that often. And so,
You're going to the Dollar Tree for your drinks, man? Dude,
yeah.
Be
They
careful.
always show. Dude, I get bang from there all the time.
My dollar store has Mellow Yellow.
I actually
love
got
Mellow Yellow.
I actually got 4 packs of.
Wait, did you say you
of
liked
Buck
Mellow
Dog.
Yellow or no?
Yeah, I like Mellow Yellow. I
Okay,
actually
just-
love it.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I heard you really.
I've never had Mellow Yellow.
Oh,
It's
you
really
love it?
good.
Yeah, you'd really like it.
Think of it like a classy 7-Up.
Oh wow, this guy is definitely not casing us. This guy whose dad was a cop definitely isn't casing the fucking joint. Hey, the new guy, why are you looking at everything? Somebody drew all over Wilson Fisk's face with MS Paint.
Okay, so...
Oh, real quick. Has anybody seen that there is apparently a leak about The Last of Us 2 coming to PS5, even though you can already play it on PS5?
Tony, stop sucking off Naughty Dog. Nobody liked it when you did it when the game awards. Nobody likes you doing it now.
The only reason that I would have, the only reason anybody would have to get that game is if they change it.
Sure.
Is if they change the ending.
They're never gonna do
I want to,
that.
like, you
know
remember
they're not
how
gonna do
Beyond
that.
Two Souls had the chronological mode that made the game a lot? Oh, did you not play Beyond Two Souls?
Why would I?
Okay, so Beyond Two Souls is an alright game by
Alright
Quantic
game?
Dream, and I mean, look, I didn't hate Heavy Rain. I preferred their previous work. You know, Indigo Prophecy, it was batshit insane, and the one with David Bowie is really good.
Oh, Alex.
You know,
Alex.
Miles, you know, there we go. Why is R2 the run button? Yeah, the only reason anybody has to buy that game is if to buy the PS5 version of The Last of Us 2, if indeed they are actually making it, is to do something like, I don't know, change massive portions of the game so that we can have an ending that makes sense.
Yes,
But
one,
you know,
one that makes thematic sense to the whole thing and doesn't, and just, you know, undermine it by trying to half-ass its supposed moral.
and quite frankly,
here's our
why did they
introduction
let me keep
into
my
this
cell
game's
phone?
version of Metroids, which are tinier
Spider-Man.
compared to what we saw in Zero Mission and whatnot. You want to know what one of the members of Brain Scratch Comms decided to name this Metroid? They decided to name it Starence. I'm gonna have to kill it now. It's dead.
So, there's fighting in the Middle East.
And
In other news, there's a crime wave in Gotham and water is wet.
and people die when they are killed.
And people die when they are killed. So, quite
Superman
frankly,
gets power from the sun. Booster Gold is gold. Green Lantern is green.
Yeah. People need to shut the fuck up about the Israel-Palestine conflict on Twitter, because a lot of the people who are making statements about this shit have no clue what they're talking about. Mia Khalifa especially.
Oh my
Mia
god, when I
Khalifa
saw her opening her mouth about this, I knew she was the last
Yeah.
person to say anything about that.
Mia Khalifa, the gangbang apostate. Stick it
the
up for
one
fucking
who-
Palestine.
The one who had sex in a hijab, and yeah, that didn't anger any Muslims or Palestinians or
No.
Israelis.
Well, yeah. That's. But,
Yeah, the last person who should be saying anything about this is the one Muslim who became a porn star because she
Okay.
was a first Muslim.
Yeah. And quite frankly, she's not what I'd call the most attractive woman on the face of the planet, you know?
She's got looks, but I get what
She's-
you're coming from.
Like, if I have to pick the equivalent of the person who's gonna be who's got like the female equivalent of the Shawn Michaels theme playing, and when I look at him, she's not at the top of my personal list, you know.
You know, I was half expecting you to say that you were gonna play Barry White with some Jello shots.
You know what? That'll work too.
Which, by the
So what,
way,
the-
guess where that running gag comes from?
Where?
Berserk Abridged.
Nice.
So then what? She's the equivalent of Eugene's theme song or something? Like what?
I mean, she's. I wouldn't even say girl next door pretty, because Mary Jane Watson was the girl next door.
I mean, she's got the look. It's just she doesn't have the attitude.
Yeah, well,
I'd rather
just another in a long line kind of porn stars who need to shut their fucking mouths about political issues. Why is
Yeah.
it always he's the fucking porn stars and former porn stars who have the shittiest political takes online?
A lot of the good ones that are still going, know when to shut the fuck up.
Defeat
I
the
think-
underground.
What was
Like,
it? Janet Mason, Sarah J, Johnny Sins. I don't think Johnny Sins ever said anything political or anything political that's noticeable anyway.
Thankfully, Johnny Sins has mostly kept his mouth shut about lots of things.
Yeah, because I don't think he's really much of a political
He is-
guy in the first place.
He is quite a prominent one too. So if like he's one of those guys who bleeds out into the mainstream. So
Yeah.
it's quite important for him to keep his fucking mouth shut, because it's like, Freddie Mercury put it best when he said that I'm just an entertainer. I'm not here to tell you what to think.
I think even Lil Wayne was a little upset when they tried to use him to get a political opinion out in the news. It's like, oh, what do you think of Black Lives Matter? It's like, what do you mean? I don't know anything
Yeah, they
about
were
them.
asking him
I'm
like,
not a
like,
politician.
they were basically giving him like carte blanche to talk shit about cops, and then he said, a cop saved my life once. I was a stupid kid, and his words exactly. I was a stupid kid playing around with my uncle's gun, and I shot myself, and this cop came in and saved my goddamn life.
Yeah, I
you know?
remember that.
Like,
And they were
Lil Wayne is a much smarter guy than people give him credit for. Because a lot of his music can be like dumb shit that
Right.
that's said. But when he talks, it's like Marilyn Manson, and like you get him talking, and you start listening to him, and there's something behind.
Yeah.
There's intelligence behind like the goofy persona,
It's like the Alice Cooper effect from Wayne's World 2. They thought because he made all this music, he's got to be like a party animal, when in fact he's just a guy who enjoys doing this stuff, and he's got like a brain behind it all.
Yeah.
And he's like
It's
talking
Andrew,
about like
Andrew
Turkey
WK is kind of
Indian.
like that too.
Yeah, he's like,
Or
talking
Andrew
about
WK has a very has a philosophy behind his music that goes into how he how he portrays himself and how he lives his life, and you know the philosophy of being and like the king of positivity and things like that, and why his music is so upbeat, you know.
By the way, Alex,
like
I
you can-
have now acquired Predator Vision.
Oh, nice. I have Predator Vision, but unfortunately, it's it only tells me where the predators are. It doesn't tell me what to do with them.
Unfortunately, most of California also has predator vision,
Yeah.
just not in the way you're thinking.
I know.
Come on. Come on. There we go. I didn't get all of them. Fuck.
So, tell me something, Gizmo. Have you ever had any interest in playing or getting Metroid Prime?
Yes, I actually have the first one.
Oh,
I have
Well-
Prime 1 and 2 on the GameCube. And I have the remastered version and for the Switch.
oh, one of these days. And you know, I still recommend and you guys play the remaster because holy shit, this version has literally everything, as I've told you guys before.
Yeah. It's the Wii version, but better, I believe.
It's
is
the
what
Wii version, plus it has all the stuff from both the PAL version and the original Japanese release. Because, you know, it has the opening narration that's not in the US version.
Nice.
Which, by the way, you can turn that on and off.
Why? Why would you want to turn that on or off?
I'm just saying that because some people prefer the ambience of there not being any, voices.
Some people prefer the theatrical cut of the Lord of the Rings films.
Those people are wrong.
Yeah. That's not even
When
an opinion.
When Aragorn was trying out that stew in like the extended cut, I laughed hard. That needed to be in there to show a little bit of humanity. Because people keep on
Aragorn-
thinking that people think Aragorn is a boring piece of shit because he didn't have as much character as say Legolas or Gimli, so they say anyway.
Those are people who didn't watch the fucking extended cut.
Yeah. And
Honestly-
also the extended cut
honestly,
adds
I
so
wish-
much to the dynamic of Legolas and Gimli.
I kind of wish that the theatrical cut was out of circulation at this point.
Yeah, but no. It's still there for some reason, even in the 4Ks.
Yeah.
Honestly,
if
the theatrical cut still holds a special place in my heart because I saw all three movies in theaters in that form, and it was still a sight to see. The music, the special effects, the makeup, the choreography, the fight scenes. You know, I could take it or leave it, not in like a bad way. Because if you offered me either one, I wouldn't say no to either one. Because if you put either one on, I wouldn't mind either way. Like the first, would I have to order a couple of extra pizzas because of how long the uncut version is? Probably, but I'd still watch it. Would it take a shorter amount of time to watch the original theatrical cuts? Maybe, but I'd still watch it because it's Lord of the Rings at the end of the day. These are objectively still good movies.
Yeah. There is literally no debate on that. And I just feel like Lord of the Rings. I just kind of wish that some people would understand that Lord of the Rings is one of those, there's two different ways to experience it in terms of how we consume the movie. Because we could either watch the movies or, the books. It's that simple. If you don't like the movies, there are the books.
There's also the MMO.
And oh yeah, Lord of the
there-
Rings Online. I forgot that
yeah.
existed.
Well, yeah, there's that.
People still play it.
I'm sure. I've no doubt about that. By the way, one neat detail about this area and others in the game is that if there are space pirates around and there are also Metroids in the area, you could actually release the Metroids and sick them on the space pirates. It's actually kind of funny.
Monster infighting.
It's like, go get them, my pretties. Now, the reason why I'm in this place in the first of all, is because there was as the Predator vision that I am using right now. The thermal visor, which is a necessity for the boss that I'm going to be facing in just a few moments after I get out of this place. How does that design philosophy
Holy
make you-
shit!
We don't sell that.
That was awesome.
As I was saying, how does that design philosophy make you guys feel? Like, you get an item and the game has you test it on something.
That's really good, because a lot of games give you stuff where there's just random shit to do, but they don't give you a whole lot of place to use it.
So, for
So rather
example,
than building games around mechanics, they start just adding mechanics to games willy-nilly. You know, like Assassin's Creed was really bad for that in the later years, and honestly is still pretty bad for that because there's a bunch of shit that they've tacked on that, frankly,
need to be
could
there.
have been done without. Apparently, Final Fantasy 16, turned out to be a pretty bad failure for Square Enix because it was a pretty big PS5 exclusive and hardly anybody bought it. And then
You would think a Final
their
Fantasy game on a
Dragon Quest
PS5
game that
well.
they did. The funny thing is, Final Fantasy 16 isn't bad, but it's not Final Fantasy 13, for God's sake. Like, 13 is still the worst game in the fucking franchise, but...
13
Okay,
2 would like to
13
say
2.
hi.
13... I was kind
And
of
plus-
counting them as the
13,
same
2,
And plus, the thing is, at the very least,
if you were to count any of the Final Fantasy series games, 13 would be on the list.
a lot of people give shit
And
for,
the only one on the list.
a lot of people give shit to Final Fantasy 8 as well. Oh, and I'm like, I don't see the issue.
Here's how
Like,
I
I
see
understand
Here's how I
why
see it.
you don't like 8's leveling system, but that you can do other things.
Yeah, you can do other things in that game.
Here's how I
Like the game.
here's
Yeah, go ahead, Gizmo.
here's how I see it. Here's how I see it. Final Fantasy at the end. Final Fantasy is not just a series of games anymore. There have been multiple games in the series where it turned into their own franchise. The
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII franchise, the classic Final Fantasy franchise. Final Fantasy 13 franchise, Final Fantasy 10 franchise, that kind of thing. They turn into their own side franchises, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Because now
Kingdom
one
Hearts
through
is a side
well,
franchise.
the Kingdom Hearts is its own thing. They have Disney, Pixar, they have Final Fantasy. It became its own thing at the end of the day. It's not really a Final Fantasy thing. It's more its own thing now. Final Fantasy, on the other hand,
We interrupt this
excuse me.
Spider-Man to bring you
I
Resident
feel
Evil.
like Final Fantasy had...
like it's not. It's one like Final Fantasies 1 through 1 through 6, like 1, 2,
well,
6,
well, here's
3,
the thing. 4
7.
also had its
Okay.
own. 4 also had its own spin-offs.
Right, but here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the amount of them that have their own series and franchises are the classics, 7, 10, 13, and I believe the MMO. Because
Which
at
one?
because they The MMO, the MMO,
There's
Final Fantasy.
two.
What? Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but that one apparently people don't count that because it doesn't really. They're not really adding anything anymore. It's its own it's its own thing where it does not even really a franchise.
Well, Final
So,
Fantasy 11 and
Final
14
Fantasy-
are very strange because they shouldn't have been numbered entries in the franchise. They should have been like Final Fantasy Online and Final Fantasy Online
Right.
2. It's like
But
how if they'd called... When did Final Fantasy Tactics come out?
Shit. Let's see. Before I think it was before Mortal Kombat 9.
Final Fantasy Tactics. 1997...
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's like if they called that Final Fantasy 8, you know?
Well, it's
Like,
because
it would-
Tactics is stepped away from the formula of the normal Final Fantasy. That's the thing. It wasn't like a normal
it's kind of
turn-based game.
expanding on it rather than taking things
Right.
away. People probably would have been more accepting of that as a Final Fantasy game, and then
By the
Right,
way,
but when was the last time? But when was the last time you heard of anything from Tactics, like getting a sequel, prequel,
I
remake?
know somebody.
It's mostly been the classic Final Fantasies run through 6, 7, 10, 13, and something, and sometimes maybe something from the MMO that gets an update or something. And when I say MMO, I mean 14.
this is PS5,
It's
where we
like-
can't shift focus smoothly
Like-
between cutscenes.
Like, there's always been remakes, resprites, 3D versions of Final Fantasy 1 through 5 of something. There's even been fan translations, fan hacks, fan
Miles,
remakes.
you're a
that kind of
fucking
thing.
idiot.
He
Same-
really
and when it
is.
moved- Final Fantasy 7, they've gotten, like, the original game, the modern-day remake, the side stories, the prequels, the cameos, and then
Apparently.
they went to 10 with like Final Fantasy 10, 10-2,
10-2.
cameos.
10, 10-2, 12, and Tactics all take place in the same universe.
Tactics and 12?
Tactics and 12 take place in the same universe. Actually, hang on. So I gotta pull this up here.
Ain't
This
that
is,
kicking the
this is
ass.
stupidly complicated.
Oh, and then there's
Yeah.
like 13, then 13-2, and then 13-3, and there was like Lightning's Return, I think
Lightning's
was 13-3.
Return. Lightning Returns is 13-3.
Yeah,
And
there you go. So it is 13-3. Okay.
And the weird
Okay,
thing
so-
is that Lightning Returns is actually still really solid in a game.
Okay, so
You
let's
hear-
It's
It's
just
kinda
kind
odd.
of
let's rap about this for a beat because the Ivalice Alliance series consists of Final Fantasy Tactics, Vagrant Story, Tactics Advance, Final Fantasy 12, Revenant Wings, Tactics War of the Alliance, A2 Grimoire of the Rift. War of the Alliance is a remake of the first game. Crystal Defenders, and part of 14 Stormblood. But Final Fantasy 10 and 12. No, I was wrong. Final Fantasy X takes place in the same universe as Final Fantasy VII. Sorry.
Yep, it's a prequel.
Yeah, I was wrong. I'm gonna say it. Oh, God damn it, I bumped the fucking screen.
By the way, the boss I'm fighting that I'm about to defeat is called Tharnis. His gimmick is that, you only can find his weak points using the thermal visor, and once you take it out, and once you bring it out to the open, you turn it
I'm
off and then you
actively-
destroy it.
Mashing the dodge button, and you're not.
And here's the funniest
Thank
cutscene in
you.
the game.
Now we just have to destroy all of this priceless pottery.
I love that. Just one random rock just hits Bonk Samus on the
Damn it.
head, and she's like, hey.
Yeah.
That was funny. And now we've got the Yo-Yo Morph Ball. Well, actually, it's called the Spider Ball. A mechanic that was introduced in Metroid 2. Makes its first chronological appearance in this game. By that I mean as in, the timeline. So, Gizmo, what were you able to do with the yo-yo?
Nothing. I never went to the yo-yo.
No, as in what were As in, were you able to do any tricks with the yo-yo?
No.
Really?
Like I said, I never went to the yo-yo.
No, I'm talking about, you know, a yo-yo.
Nope.
Alex, what about you?
I used to yo-yo.
I only yo-yoed. I never did any tricks. Was never able to.
Yeah.
I did
Not
a lot of stuff with my yo-yos. There's like
wasn't able to.
Some people
Wasn't able to do round the world. I wasn't able to do walk the dog. I wasn't able to do the baby's cradle. None of that.
I managed to get most of those and do them pretty well, but unfortunately, yeah, I never had that great of a yo-yo to work with, and my favorite yo-yo got busted, so
That's
It's an
stopped doing it
underrated
after
toy.
that.
I will give it that. It's a really underrated toy. People forget that the yo-yo lasted so long. And I don't think they ever stopped making them.
No, they actually make competition yo-yos now.
Yeah. There's yo-yo competitions. People forget.
Yeah,
That's not just a cartoon thing.
oh, Fisk construction sites.
There's like
More side
steel-
questing.
And people also forget that there's all kinds of yo-yos. There's like the yo-yo ball, there's the yo stick, there's metal yo-yos, wooden yo-yos, plastic yo-yos, that's obvious. I think there's even glass yo-yos.
We interrupt this Spider-Man to bring you Metal Gear Solid. Perception trophy earned. Why is the spider symbol
I
inside
swear,
of
if
the?
I could ever find Twin Snakes at a convention, I'm gonna be getting that, and
I have-
probably be streaming it.
I have it. I streamed it.
I'm
I
sure that
am
was fun.
so fucking unhappy that they're not putting Twin Snakes in the Metal Gear Solid Legacy, whatever the fuck collection. Oh, hey,
I think
Jameson.
it probably has to do with something to do with Silicon Knights.
Now, Silicon Knights got themselves into a lot of trouble with 2 Human, but apparently, part of that was Epic Games' fault, from what I hear. So,
Epic Games doing something bad, surely you just.
yeah. Oh yeah, the guy from Unity is stepping down. By the way, after
Good.
after all that shit that happened.
Making a dumb shit move like that, you better step down.
Can't say I'm surprised.
You soggy granola bar.
So Gizmo.
Fucking non-alcoholic beer.
So, Miles is basically immune to Electro, I guess.
Makes sense. I guess.
So Gizmo, what is a classic Metroid game you would always go back to? So if you were feeling like playing a 2D side scroller.
The NES version.
How exactly do you have the permits to run this garbage across the fucking... Where did you come from?
I have never really heard anybody say the NES version of Metroid 1, because most people would prefer
You
Zero
said 2D
Mission.
side scroller.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
most
Zero
people
Mi-
would go for, like, Super Metroid, Metroid Zero Mission, and, fucking AM2R, or Metroid 2, you know, for either
Samus
Game Boy
Return.
or 3DS.
Yeah, Samus
Something about
Returns,
the
Metroid
classics,
2.
though. I don't know, man.
So
I think
And
I like
Spider-Man is dead, again.
I think it's the exploration bit that gets me.
And by the way, Gizmo, have you ever tried Engage Ridley, motherfucker?
Please don't, by the way.
It's a fucking hilarious cheat that just, you know, turns your game into a Pac-Man game.
Except on 3DS at one point, where it actually bricked the system.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah,
Repeat
so...
that?
Engage Ridley Motherfucker is a code that sets your game time to like 65 trillion years or some shit.
Okay.
What the fuck?
That's
Yeah.
odd.
Hang on.
Very random.
So, no, it's 314 years worth of game time, not millions of years, but it is 2,861,643. No, 2,861,643,271 in-game seconds.
That is the most random yet specific amount of time any kind of code it will ever put on your console.
Yeah.
So odd.
Yeah, it results in Ridley having been defeated and freezes the game because you're stuck in a
Pac-Man.
position that is yeah, you're basically stuck in a position that's completely invalid.
Yep. Somebody.
That is just. Oof.
I can't believe they actually put that in that game.
It's one of those things where it wasn't it's the
wasn't
result
supposed to
of
be
the
in
way
there.
the password system was programmed, and it's one of those things that you can't really foresee in terms of programming, because it's like the way. So let me just go ahead and run through this. So
Okay, so
okay, yeah. So yeah. So if you put in E7 gauge Ridley, motherfuckage, the game is actually playable, but you have to use the controller glitch to backtrack to Mother Brain. Otherwise, as you're just stuck. Yeah. Guru Larry has a great video about this. This is where he explains the ins and outs of it. But the way the password system in Metroid was programmed into the game, the system basically just kind of overloads.
overload.
I mean, it is the NES era, and
Yeah.
By the way, so recently, in terms of me getting in our commission, and I ended up having a commission done for the pairing of Koichi Hirose and Yukiko Yamagishi from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They're part 4, Gizmo.
okay,
As in the part where Vic Mignogna is actually a main character.
okay.
And essentially it's like they're out on the beach, trying to get a tan and whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, this turned out really, really nice. If you want to know the artist who makes some of these things that I share on Twitter, go check out Mehcast on DeviantArt. They do really good stuff. And if you want to commission them, feel free to give them like a DM and whatnot.
I just finished training another voice.
Oh, hello,
Hello.
Mason.
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
I
I fell asleep and forgot there was a stream.
It happens.
You're all right, man.
So Gizmo, how's Minute World been?
He's been all right. He hasn't been in a few streams, but I think he's doing all right.
Alright.
I mean, that assumes that this isn't my business.
But it is your business, Alex, don't you know?
Oh yeah.
People, don't you know it's about time?
Okay,
It's beta
so
time?
there's supposed to be a platform around here-ish.
What about here?
Hmm?
What about over here?
No.
What about
Anyway, so there's supposed to be a
20.
platform around here-ish.
Are you sure? I thought it was over here.
Welcome to Scenic Here with
Okay.
Open Bar.
What about over there?
Gonna kick your ass from here to right over there.
So
Danger,
anyway,
danger,
as I was
danger.
saying, and
Damn it.
so
I
there
thought I was gonna be
there's like
able-
an invisible platform in that area that I was just at,
Yeah, fuck that.
and sometimes you can sequence break the game, aim to get it before you get the ability to see invisible platforms and whatnot. And the thing is, the only way you can actually see it is with the X-ray visor. It's really intriguing how one of the things that it took for Metroid to really resurface in popularity was not only Mercury Steam making not just one but two Metroid titles, and both of them were really good, just really hard. Like seriously, if you ever play Metroid Dread or Samus Returns, you are gonna get your ass kicked.
Oh, yeah?
Somebody's gonna get
Oh
their ass
yeah.
kicked. Somebody's gonna get the wig split. Somebody's gonna get that. Alex, you know that song.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mark Henry's song.
Yeah, speaking of which,
Was that
Fastlane
before?
happened.
Oh, again? Really? After all
What
this
happened over
time?
the weekend.
I thought that was a winter pay-per-view.
Fastlane came back?
I thought Fastlane was coming up right now. Hang on.
Life in
No, it happened, like,
Yeah,
2 days ago.
Fastlane.
Show
Yeah,
me
Fastlane happened 2 days ago, yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened 2 days ago. It happened on a Saturday.
Huh.
First Fastlane held since 2021. First to be held on a Saturday, first to be held in October. That's a bunch of dubious honors, but, you know, heavily qualified statements galore.
I wish Eugene came back. Hot take?
Uh,
So
I don't even really remember Eugene.
So some
Really?
people say like, so some people try to do what I'm doing right now. Oh, like right at the end of Metroid Prime, and
Alex,
because you don't need to do the like until the very end of the game, you don't need to search for the Chozo artifacts. You just need to. Oh, you know, get through the game and get all.
What
the
were you saying,
powers.
Mason?
I was asking where Roman Reigns is.
Hang on. I just have a quick question. Why the fuck was Fastlane held before the Royal Rumble?
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
Oh, lovely.
because the Royal Rumble is coming up in January. And then Elimination Chamber happens. And then it's WrestleMania XL.
Oh, you mean Hulkamania?
Like, Survivor Series is coming up after Crown Jewel. And Fastlane into Survivor Series, Fastlane into Crown Jewel into Survivor Series, wasn't the whole point of Fastlane that it was supposed to be, you know, like the Fastlane to WrestleMania? I don't know.
Wait, since there's a WrestleMania, isn't there also a Hall of Fame?
Yeah, there's a new Hall of Fame coming up this year.
Who's been inducted so far?
I don't know.
Kane, I think.
Wasn't he
Kane fucking
already?
better be inducted into the Hall of Fame. If he
I thought he
hasn't
was
been,
already in the Hall of Fame.
who's breaking the speed limit outside my room?
Last year, I can't remember.
There's one enemy, if there's one recurring enemy that I cannot, for the life of me, stand in this game, it's these fuckers. They're known as the Chozo Ghosts. And
I don't know about no Chozo Ghosts in WWE.
no, I'm talking about out in my game.
You own
Okay,
a
so
WWE game?
apparently
No, I'm playing
Batista
Metroid
is
Prime.
set to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I get it, but I mean, I get it, but come on.
I mean, he's the only one they've announced.
Before Kane,
Let's see here.
before,
Hang on. Oh wait,
Like-
no, Rey Mysterio, has been announced. The Great Muta has been announced. Stacy Keibler, or Andy Kaufman.
okay.
Apparently
I'm
Tim
hear-
White is gonna get the Warrior Award.
I'm hearing some names that make sense, especially Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Why is the Great Useless announced?
That's one night.
So apparently
Booyaka,
Batista,
booyaka.
apparently Batista hasn't been and isn't going to be announced yet. And for this, he's just on the roster as to be inducted eventually.
Eventually, maybe. We don't
Eventually.
know.
Oh yeah,
There-
today is Columbus Day. I forgot about that.
I
Yeah,
I
yes,
completely forgot
happy-
about that too.
Ah, yes. Happy Columbus Indigenous whatever day.
Happy Leif Erikson's Day.
Inga binga dinga.
Thank you. I forgot how that went.
See.
So,
Let's get one thing straight. You're a minor, alright? Now, what you need to do is you need to get off Twitter and do your homework and leave us the hell alone.
That's nice. Who is that?
James Woods.
Said every
Ace.
not safe for work artist out there.
Okay.
That's Hades from Hercules.
Mason, you
actually
do
sent that to
you do
Alex
wonderful work with that.
Well, that's because it's voice conversion. Voice conversion, it's just, it comes out a lot smoother than the text-to-speech. I also sent it to Alex the other day. At least I think I did. But I guess I didn't send it to Gizmo.
I think you did.
Let me see. Hades. There it is. Now I did.
Okay, so since I got
Excuse
the
me.
spider
Oh.
ball,
When you get done, I have a hilarious story I want to tell.
Bowls, 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 bowls.
so
Let's get one.
Okay.
Are you ready? Kevin, are you done?
no, I wasn't. I didn't even get a chance.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, so one thing in that, and since I now have the spider ball, I now have the ability to travel up these magnetic tracks that are on various walls and whatnot.
Spiders.
Bowls.
So what I'm going to try.
No, I mean spiders.
So what the game will want me to do is,
Fuck.
you know,
You're doomed. Doomed.
is go through a bunch of spider ball tracks and, you know,
Oh.
see where I could go. Oh, and
Move.
if you had the hint system turned on, the game will explicitly tell you where you should probably be going. I do not have this system turned on because I'm like, yeah, I've already played this game before. I know where I'm going. You know, Alex, I still don't understand how I could possibly have a somewhat better memory than you do at times.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, how do I remember half of this stuff?
You probably go back and listen into more of our content than we do, because I have a very specific taste for the things that I re-listen to, but I think you wind up going through most of it.
I'm gonna go get a snack. I'll be right back.
Well, I sometimes go back
I guess-
and reread some of the stuff that I do.
Yeah.
I do so that when I go back and try to redo it in a
What
way,
the
I'll
fuck?
know what I might need to improve. And I forgot to mention one thing with the boost ball mechanic in this game. There are half pipes scattered throughout Tallon IV, or that you're gonna need to navigate. Now, Alex, I'm gonna ask a question. And so, in terms of control schemes, which one sounds the most appealing to you? Oh, in this game, the original game.
Standard FPS.
Oh, so when you get to streaming this game, you're just gonna do standard FPS controls?
Yes, I am not going to use the original control scheme. That's fucking bullshit.
I actually like both the original control scheme and the trilogy version.
Yeah, I'd go with the trilogy version. I remember a lot of people complained about the trilogy version making the game too easy.
Oh, please.
It's like the fucking morons who complain that the 360 whip control in Castlevania IV ruined the game.
Oh no, that thing that made it a hard game actually more surmountable.
Yeah, like
It's such
additional
a bad
playability. Additional playability is not going to make it. Just design the fucking game around the whip controls. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
And future Castlevania games didn't have 360 weapon control. Oh, and it's fucking irritated me in my whole goddamn life.
Yeah, I feel you deeply there. The one time it did was the first was the prologue segment of Symphony of the Night, where
and even
Richter had all these insane abilities to literally flex on Dracula, and you literally couldn't die.
And that's not even entirely what I mean by that, because like you can do it, but you can only like twirl, you can twirl the whip around, but you can't like strike up and down and diagonally and things like that.
Actually, I think
What'd I miss?
not much.
Oh, I
was
just wanted to.
I was
I
just
was
telling
holding off
Alex
on-
about how it's like since there's 3 control schemes in Metroid Prime Remastered, I was asking which one would he go for, and one of the choices he ended up choosing was
the trilogy.
well, that and also the traditional first-person shooter controls.
I mean, that is the trilogy controls, isn't it?
No. The trilogy controls is what I'm using. Pointer, as in I'm using both Joy-Cons to control this thing.
Oh. Yeah, no, I'd probably do something like that too. They're like, I'd try it out at the very least.
Yeah, just try out all the.
Anyways,
games.
Gizmo, I have a funny story I want to tell.
No. Okay, go ahead.
Also,
Around
I'm
where
here.
I live, there's a little thing that goes on called Cruising the Coast, where a bunch of people in classic cars come around and, you know, they show them off and you know, do shit.
Okay. Doesn't sound so. It doesn't sound bad so far.
Yeah. But that leads to a lot of people.
A lot of people doing what?
A lot of people who are idiots driving around. And sorry, trying to figure out how to get this thing set up. There we go.
Okay. Like what?
Anyways,
like, doing donuts in the middle of the street or something?
well, that's been an issue.
Do they play music so loud? Are they entirely able to play their music so
That
loud?
is a different issue.
Do they have loud engines?
So what happened? Someone stole a Rolls Royce and decided to
Okay,
do
no.
street race with it?
So here's what happened. And so I was, you know what people like to do in the back of pickup trucks when they're driving down the road?
Have sex in it.
Okay, so you're not the first person to say something like that, but you're wrong.
Huh. Salute?
So, what's something that people do in the back of pickup trucks that they shouldn't be doing, but isn't, and is illegal but isn't sexual in nature?
Riding.
Yes.
Looking.
Yes, literally. Like these people there were people in the back of this, looked like about a 1980 something pickup truck. Kind of like Marty McFly's, but blue, with lawn chairs set up in the back of the pickup truck. Like folding lawn chairs.
What the fuck?
That is in no way safe.
Nope.
No. And there were kids in that
Did somebody-
pickup truck, in the back of that pickup truck too.
Even worse.
Oh
Like
dear.
two little kids and a man. And
Man.
you know,
I'm
they
gonna
got
guess-
pulled over by the cops. And I got to see that happen. And it was like I almost got to see the cops' gears turning, because it was like he was like cruising along, and then all of a sudden and he like kind of changed and like flashed his lights on. And so it was like it was almost like he did a double take. And it was like, wait, what, are they seriously fucking doing that?
I guess he just didn't realize at first what was going on, because why would anyone do that?
Yeah. I don't know what... People have done shit like that before. Like,
Car surfing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
somebody
people-
actually ran through a hedge and collided with a, they ran through a hedge, collided with a gas pump, and drove into the gas station in a pickup truck with, two bimbos in the front seat and kids in the back, and the guy who was driving was drunk.
Sounds like a regular day in Florida.
Yeah, well, that happened in my town about 10 years ago.
Jesus. Well, we learned something today.
Well,
And what was
And
that?
knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Schmo.
Indeed.
yes, indeed.
Yeah, Schmo was there, and here, and there, and over there. That was drunk driving.
And now I gotta go. Oh, kill some ghosts.
Or bust them.
Ghostbusters.
Sadly, the Wave Buster is not a method I could use to kill Chozo ghosts.
Damn.
Bustin', I'm busting a nut.
Gross.
Yeah, I always find that funny.
Yeah.
Luckily, all it
I
takes
don't
is
know.
one super missile and one charge shot from my power beam. And I do stress my power beam and not any other weapon, because literally nothing else hurts them.
So those
Huh.
grenades take a lot
Okay.
longer to go off as you pick them up.
Lightning round. When it comes to news, it looks like an ex-Metal Slug developer has announced a game called Black Finger Jet.
Yeah, let me get to the Metal Slug successor.
Considering this is an ex-developer of Metal Slug, it looks to be just another Metal Slug, but that's not a bad thing. I miss Metal Slug.
I mean,
I
This
hope
is
it
much as
turns
I-
out
I'm
better
a
than
Metal
that
Slug.
spiritual successor to Mega Man we had that one time.
Mega Man Dive.
No.
No, I was talking
No,
about
the other
Mighty
one.
Number 9.
Oh, Mighty Number
AKA,
9.
AKA
It's better than nothing.
And
Oh,
also,
fuck that.
and also,
Made an anime
Time to make the
fan
bad
cry.
guys
fun.
cry like an anime fan on prom night.
What's sad is that game looks at least at the very most just decent. It's just that their advertising campaign made them look like a bunch of jackasses.
Well, the game was so
Yeah.
broken on the Wii U at launch that it didn't that it almost bricked systems.
yeah.
Also, did we really need a free
Almost.
independence?
And apparently Freedom Planet was like that too, to the point where when the developers gave me a preview key and then immediately said don't use this, the game's broken.
Okay, so
Move to the point where the preview key was messed up.
Damn.
Yeah, so before the game before the game launched was when God damn it. So before the game launched was when they found the bug and they said don't do it, don't play it, don't even download it.
Don't cross the streams.
except for when you
And they
do.
gave me a PC version of the game instead. And so
Well, I'm a little worried now because I actually have my number 9 on Wii U. I
they
didn't play
fixed
yet.
it. but,
Okay, good.
But you have to
Well-
have a patch.
What about Freedom Planet?
Freedom Planet
Freedom
has been
Planet's more-
fixed, although I'd recommend the Switch version over the Wii U version.
By the way, Alex, there was a funny bit in the Brain Scratch playthrough of that game, in where when the characters crashed the plane, the game crashed.
Huh.
Oh. Huh.
I'm like,
It sounds like something the X-Men Genesis game would do.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, and
But I feel like this wasn't on purpose, you know?
no, it wasn't. It's just one of those incidental things that happened to end up being funny.
Speaking of rare moments, a super rare Nintendo 64 controller could fetch over £1,000 at auction.
Is it one of the golden ones?
Actually, no, it's not one of the colored ones. It happens to look like leopard print,
Is it?
like snow leopard
What?
print almost.
Link me to that. Actually, hang on. That's probably in the thing, isn't it?
It is actually.
Okay.
It's a very rare controller. Oy. I have never seen a pattern like this on any N64 controller. I'm more used to either the normal color, the clear, or the shinies. You know, gold, silver, platinum, that kind of thing. This is like something else. This is like a pattern you see only on what speedos on men that are too old, or lingerie on women that are also too actually my taste.
Oh, yeah.
Cougars.
There was that.
Cougar,
There was
Cougars, milk.
There was that hatful boyfriend thing last week about how the people who did that never got
Yeah, I was
never
actually gonna
got
get.
paid by Epic.
I was actually
Oh,
gonna
the
get to
Tinkerer
that.
has escaped.
I was actually going to get to
Oh,
that
no.
after this.
Oh
little,
no, whatever shall we do?
I was actually going to get to that after this little bit of news that someone made a fan-made port of SNK versus Capcom for the Commodore 64.
Hey.
Oh,
Like
I
it
actually
was-
can't find the rare N64 controller on
It's linked.
in the news topics.
It's right there. It's this super rare N64 controller could fetch P1000. It's right under the Blackfinger Jet news.
Blackfinger Jet.
News and topic suggestions.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
And now I got.
Blackfinger Jet.
Now I
Damn,
got.
Mono and
that
Ben
is
are still at
that
it.
is an interesting controller.
Yeah, very interesting design.
Gifted the customized pad produced by a company called Fox Data. One of 4 designs were Desert Storm, Red Rain, Purple Forest, and Chrome Leopard.
Here we go again.
I've never seen a design like that. It's really interesting.
Apparently they had chrome ones as well.
I believe that.
The Desert Storm camo looks really fucking cool.
It does. But now on to sadder news. Like you said before,
Collateral damage? What's that?
Like you said before, the creator of Hateful Boyfriend, the infamous dating sim where you're going around dating birds like your Review Tech USA.
oh
apparently,
God,
she's, apparently she's never been paid royalties from Epic ever.
wow. Oh,
You would think
yeah.
that any indie developer that sold any amount of copies anywhere on whether it be digital or physical would get some sort of payback. 5%, 10%, 20%, 50%, 1%
Like-
for God's sake, but nothing. She's been given nothing.
Nada.
Trying.
Zilch.
And this wasn't just a meme
Steroids,
game.
Miles. It's steroids.
This wasn't just a meme game. This had patches. This had fan art, fan works. I think this had some mods. I think this even had some like.
Yeah, Hateful Boyfriend has quite a following.
It
It's
does.
bizarre, but
Like, keep in mind, this is the story behind this is that the last remaining human girl on Earth has nobody to flirt with, but birds and pigeons. Again,
Huh.
this feels like a Review Tech USA dating sim.
look at this. Look at this right here. Here, she's not destroying the road. The rubble she's creating is generative.
Which is stupid.
This is PS5, ladies and gentlemen.
He actually tried to bring it up with Epic, but all they said was, "We're looking into this, and the team will be reaching out to you directly."
Yeah. And this after Epic made a whole big song and dance about how they give indie developers and other people a better cut than Steam does. You remember
Ugh.
that, where they were trying to get more people by giving people a, supposedly a better cut than Steam did.
It's a shame.
You know what I'd appreciate? Not going to cutscene every 5 seconds in this awesome action scene.
Yeah. You know what I'd also appreciate? A lot of things.
Why did these death wheels aren't even causing permanent damage to the side of the building.
Speaking of things, how many of you like Ghibli? Don't answer that, because apparently the government organized Studio Ghibli themed matchmaking event have been bombarded with applications in Japan.
Really?
Cool.
Oh,
I mean, this is Ghibli we're talking about. You've seen Ghibli. Everyone here has at least seen one Ghibli movie, or at least, if not at all, at least heard of a Ghibli movie. Princess Mononoke, Kiki's Delivery Service, Porco Rosso, that kind of thing, right?
Kiki's Delivery Service is one of my favorite movies ever made.
We've at least heard of these movies, if not seen them.
Spirited
And when
Away.
someone a matchmaking service that's
Jesus
themed around
fucking Christ, Miles, you're a goddamn Now we're just ripping off the Amazing Spider-Man here.
like a matchmaking service themed around the Ghibli movies, that's just waiting to get money. That's just waiting for the money to roll into their pockets. That's like Sega hosting a Sega themed boxing event. You know that's gonna get people like buying tickets right away. Like right here, quote saying, "We were surprised. Perhaps it was the unusual nature of the event, that it was on such a large scale with 400 people expected, that drew interest. Or perhaps there were simply many people looking for a place to meet other people. 400 for a matchmaking event. 1,175 men and 1,074 women would be meeting, and they got 400 people just applying.
Dang.
You have new suits or mods available for purchase.
No, I don't. I mean, oh,
Let's see
right.
here. I can get the Homemade Suit,
Hooray.
Track Suit, Strike Suit, the Crimson Cowl Suit, Brooklyn Visions Academy Suit, which is a dead giveaway of my secret identity, the Animated Suit, the End Suit,
And I
Miles
think
2099.
you might want to hold on to your heartstrings, because this is the beginning of more bad news.
What?
The artist for Shining Force, Yoshitaka Tamaki, has passed away.
Man.
Oh.
He's also been known for working on Little Buster Q, Landstalker, and the Alundra series. He was only 58 years old.
Jesus,
Yeah.
dancing Christ.
He was also known for making Shining. He was also involved in Shining Tears, Shining Tears Neo, Shining Soul, as well as again Alundra. Yeah, 58. It's been revealed on September 29th that the artist has been getting medical treatment, but apparently it didn't work.
Man.
Yeah.
More bad news. The creator of Pibby, George Greenlee, confirms that the show hasn't been greenlit and likely won't be. For those of you who've forgotten or don't know, Pibby was this little April Fool's trailer of sorts, where what seemed like an elementary school level cartoon character is caught up in this creepypasta style horror thing going around, where shows are getting corrupted and like they're like stretching and becoming monsters and such. So she's traveling to other genres of shows, like the Disney afternoon shows, superhero shows, to try and not only like escape but also save the cartoon world of sorts. It's a parody of sorts, I guess, but it's also horror. People actually loved it enough so much that they were hoping that it would be greenlit into an actual show.
But it
Fortunately,
never-
doesn't look like it will. No, it
Oh,
looks like
Cartoon
he has-
Network doesn't know how to print money, do they?
Yeah, it's always Cartoon Network. Nickelodeon knows how, but apparently Cartoon Network is still bent out of shape somehow.
Ow.
Like, keep in mind, they're still showing Teen Titans Go reruns. Like, fuck's sake, can we just let it go? You're not SpongeBob. You're just airing reruns at this point.
Yeah.
God damn it. Cartoon Network. What?
And meanwhile, so Gizmo, I've been showcasing Teen Titans in Zone 3 to Seamus, and he's certainly been enjoying it so far.
I bet. Yeah, he said he loved He said he loved the Starfire character. I mean, I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Yes, he does.
Yes, she is adorable. Whether she be as
Yes, and
pure-
actually adorkable, by the way. Okay, not Wolfenstein Youngblood adorkable.
Oh, for fuck, that's not
not
workable in the
Miguel.
least.
and whose character was ruined by later seasons.
Season 2. Fuck, Season 2.
And season 3, and season 4.
That almost goes without saying, but yeah.
Well, since you're already in a bad mood, I don't think this will help. Harvard University. That should ring a bell in anybody's ears. We've at least heard of it. Just like, how the sky is blue, grass is green.
Crime wave.
Apparently, Harvard has gotten the worst score ever for free speech rankings.
Oh, wow.
Keep in mind, Harvard University is one of the is basically on the higher tier learning of schools that people strive to go to. It's either Harvard, it's like it's up there. Tokyo U, Harvard University, those kind of schools that people strive to go to because they think that they got the best chance of making it after graduating there. 75% of the schools surveyed in each of the past 4 years, and this is the one that gets the worst ranking.
Fuck.
And I'm quoting here, last year it ranked 170 out of 203 schools. And this year, Harvard completed its downward spiral in dramatic fashion, coming in dead last. Dead last, with the worst score ever, 0.00 out of a possible 100.00. This earns it the notorious distinction of being the only school ranked this year within, quote, abysmal, unquote, speech climate. This is a university.
Destroy the things to get to the thing.
The thingamathing. My thingamajig.
Now I'm helping Roxanne.
Do the
thing.
Yeah, I guess that's one college I won't be going to. And if my kids say they were going to Harvard, I'm telling them, no, you're not. More cringy than sad, Magic the Gathering is considering removing druids and shamans, tomato,
Shamans, no.
due to religious sensitivities. Witches have already been removed for similar reasons.
That's fucking bizarre.
Weird. Magic the Gathering.
Like, imagine.
It's in the name. Why would you remove witches?
Yeah, I was gonna say, imagine being a game that people considered quote-unquote satanic at one point, now being so pussified that we can't even have a fucking, I'm distracted by the adaptive rumble on this.
Imagine they did the same
I
thing.
prefer the classic DualShock stuff,
Imagine they did the same thing with Call of Duty and they decided to remove all the guns. I'm like, bro, it's in the name. Why would you remove the guns? These are soldiers fighting.
Yeah.
It's not even. I don't get how even board games are getting caught up on this. Like, I'm seeing figurines where I'm seeing like little goblins and stuff like that are now in wheelchairs.
Now
These are not modified.
You can solve all those fucking disabilities with magic.
Yeah.
Right. That's what people have brought up. That's what people have been saying. Why would you have figurines that have them stuck in wheelchairs when you easily have magic? Just cast heal. You don't need the wheelchair. Oh, but I am in a wheelchair. No, but this is fantasy. You can just, say that I heal my legs.
I can't throw my shield like Captain America in real life, but I did that in a game of D&D once, and it saved the fucking day. So,
Yeah, but let them go.
Why is Roxanne still after me after I helped them out?
Because
Are they stupid?
Yes, they are.
Stupid. They want power.
Roxanne's a fucking fuel company. Why do they have private militia? Hang on. Once again, I'm going to bring this up. This seems like, with as much shit that goes on in New York City right now, I feel like we ought to have the Avengers, just like constantly on patrol.
Yeah, that's literally you could say about every time
Yeah,
something
but that's
goes wrong in
racist,
New
don't you
York.
know? Because he's part of
I
authority.
mean, yeah, I mean, we gotta
I mean-
give the Black Platinum Man his moment.
I mean, not that I don't think that, you know, these guys can handle themselves. It's just that we can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah, that's literally the whole point of the goddamn Justice League. Superman said so himself in the first episode of the show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the problem with superhero teams. Like whenever something goes wrong, don't everyone always ask, just call the league.
Yeah, and this is
Speaking
why...
of nations, National Geographic will end sales period starting next year, and will focus on digital subscriptions.
Well, Time Magazine did something like that too, and I can't help but feel like I think this is going to wind up going downhill soon.
For those who don't know what National Geographic is, basically it's like the Discovery Channel, except you're reading instead of listening and watching.
Pretty sure I've got a couple of them actually.
You'll find them everywhere. You'll find them in, like, you know, in doctors' offices, libraries, schools.
I loved reading National Geographics. They always had very interesting covers, and they always stood out a mile away.
And now we get the gravity suit.
Now that's not going to happen
Hooray.
anymore.
Which, fun little detail about this game and in Prime 2, when you get at the gravity suit, or in Prime 2 the gravity booster, you'll not only be able to move around better in water, but you'll also actually have a much clearer, or you'll actually have much clearer vision in the water. It's kind of blurry at first. Whereas when you're down there, or with just either your power suit or your various suit. How does that
Finish him.
How does that detail sound?
That's pretty good.
Well, you know what's not good? Police have arrested former Ubisoft bosses, 6 of them after sexual misconduct complaints.
Jeez.
6 of them. Not 1, not 2.
6.
6.
Gotta do it. I ended up seeing...
You know what's funny?
It's gotten somewhat ridiculous, isn't it? Like, first Activision, then Ubisoft. And honestly, there's probably more.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that if it was any other company, I'd be surprised, but because of how bad the reputation Ubisoft has been getting, it's not surprising to me at all. Like, somehow I knew something like this was gonna happen.
Yeah, they're a shit place to work at, and they're a shit company to buy games from. It's like EA and fucking Activision all over again. And like, I wouldn't have been surprised if it came out that there were like criminal sexual impropriety coming out of fucking EA, you know?
At least with EA, you know the only reason why they're getting any kind of controversy is because, well, they're EA. They've done stupid decisions like canceling games, they've bought other companies just to run them down. They keep on making Madden after MLB, after NHL, after NFL, after hubba.
Well, they don't have the MLB license, and
but you know what I mean,
they have
right?
lost the FIFA license.
But you know what I mean, right? They think that
Yeah,
they
I
can
know.
survive off of Madden and sports games alone, and every time they try going out of their own comfort zone, they do, while even if they do good, the cons greatly outweigh the pros. For example, Brutal Legend. Great marketing campaign, the game came out pretty good, but you shut down the company itself. No, Double Fine's all right, but no. Remember Dead Space?
Yeah, I remember what they did to the guys who made it. I remember what they did to the guys who made the other game, fucking Battlefront.
Right.
Pandemic Studios.
Look what happened there. The most we have to deal with EA is stupid decisions. Ubisoft, on the other hand, 6 former bosses arrested for sexual goddamn misconduct. You might as well just say
Yeah.
they're arrested for rape, because holy shit,
Yeah.
6? 6. It would have been enough if you just said 1. 6.
Yeah, and this is actual arrests, not just Me Too.
Yeah. God damn, I still can't wrap my head around this. 6.
French Canadians, they wanna rape you and then make you kill yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, calm
That's
down
the
there,
Canadian
French.
healthcare system for you.
Calm down there, PewDiePie.
And for you know, for legal reasons, that was a joke.
And they're gonna rape in Minecraft,
In Roblox.
in Roblox, in
Oh,
Minecraft, in
God.
Roblox, in Street Fighter. No, wait, they probably did that with cameos in the background. Forget I said that.
No.
Ugh.
6. Okay, I'm gonna move on from that. Fucking 6. Okay. Red Dead Redemption gets 60 frames per second option. Only on PS5.
Of course.
Ugh.
This is on Switch. This is going on PS4. You're telling me it can't make 60 frames per second on either of those consoles?
It's an
Tell me.
Xbox 360 game, motherfucker.
And it's eventually going to hit PC now that it's on these consoles. You're telling me
Yeah.
that they can't make it to 60 frames? Bro, there have been people who capped Switch games to 60 frames.
And further proof that the PS5 has no games.
One game! I don't know why. I bought a PS5 with no games to buy.
Ugh.
Still
Edgewood,
waiting.
I-
Still waiting. I
These
want to
team
preload
asteroids.
Spider-Man 2, guys.
You want to preload on something? Preload on Cyberpunk 2077 because it's getting a live-action adaptation.
Of course it is.
That's interesting. Apparently, oh yeah, apparently Bethesda is also what? Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you okay
Bethesda
Mm,
is
there,
what the
Jim?
fuck? I mean, that's not the first time I've heard people call them that.
No, I'm okay. So Bethesda is apparently trying to make a live-action Skyrim movie.
What part? What story?
The answer is yes, Gizmo.
That's the problem. Just do what D&D did and just try and make a movie that just so happens to take
yeah.
place in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best option
God.
they can do right now. There's no way you can make a movie straight up based off the Dovahkiin without fucking it up somehow.
Sorry, every time I'm... Alright, some of the time I end up thinking of, Hishi Chewbacca.
Chewie!
Yeah!
Chewbacca!
By the way, Gizmo, you want to know it's one image that Alex
More side quest.
that Alex had put into my
Yay.
head, and that I would have loved to see.
No. Okay,
If-
what?
If in Soul Society there existed a Wookiee as a Soul Reaper,
Oh yeah, we talked about that from the beginning.
Dude, imagine a Soul Reaper Wookiee just tearing off the arms of a Hollow.
That was part of the image I had.
that's
What the hell is this hairy thing? You're what? You want to chew on what? Oh, wait, your name is Chewie? Oh, Chewbacca? You realize that
So
means
I
stupid
just-
in that language, right?
I just saw something hilarious.
what.
What?
Mm.
r/ask Reddit. What stopped you from killing yourself? Do you want to take any guesses?
What?
I called the
video-
suicide emergency hotline and no one picked up. I thought it was so ironic and hilarious. It made me laugh and temporarily not think of suicide.
That's actually pretty funny. Ironically, pretty funny.
That's so wrong, yet it's so funny.
It is wrong, but that's what makes it funny. How much of a
Yep.
jackass you got to be that you're not going to pick up a suicide hotline?
Okay, so I have a story about that. Not about me personally, but Lord Cat. Everybody know who Lord Cat is?
No.
Only the name
No.
kind of rings a bell.
Okay, so it's irrelevant for this story. So Lord Cat is a YouTuber who ran an investigation into a suicide prevention hotline service known as Trans Lifeline, and I believe you can still find the information about it on whatever the modern equivalent of the Kiwi Farms is. And I believe
Farms.
somebody
Kiwi
has
Farms is actually up.
Yeah, it's still
Well,
technically up.
it's up. I'm just talking about the address, you know.
Right. I get you. Yes.
Okay, yeah. And he did some investigation into Trans Lifeline, and Trans Lifeline was supposed to be a suicide prevention and service for genderqueer, non-binary, transgender, etc. Fuck.
XYZ 123.
Yeah, that. And he called them and said, you know, because the people behind it were fucking suspect already. And he said, I'm suicidal, and I need help. And they asked, "Are you trans?" And he said, "I don't know." And they said, "Well, you better figure it out." And hung up on him.
What the fuck?
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
even worse than the suicide hotline hanging up, not picking up.
Yeah, it's like not picking up is worse than hanging up. It isn't
Yeah.
worse than hanging up on somebody like that. That's gonna make people feel fucking alone.
Dude,
Like you're a
it's one thing
suicide
if you-
prevention hotline. I don't care. Like if it's like you've put together like a suicide prevention hotline.
And I
for
lowered the
specific-
audio on my game so that I could avoid getting a copyright claim.
for specifically this is like I'm gonna use a Marvel example here. If somebody shows up at your suicide prevention thing for mutants and says, hey, I'm thinking of killing myself, and they're and they're not a mutant, you still you're still a suicide prevention thing,
Right.
talk to them. Try to see if they're in a good mental space before you say goodbye.
And figure it out. Figure it out. That's why they're calling you, because they can't figure it out themselves. They need someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Okay, say what you there. I can tell you right now. I have my issues with the trans community with one or two things they've done, maybe even three. But this is a good thing. A trans suicide hotline. That's a good thing, because it's usually after they transition that they have thoughts like this. So it should help them out, right? But then to
if
tell
you run
them
a
to
fucking
if
scam,
yeah, and then they're outright saying figure it the fuck out before you call me. What? You're the reason. Now you're another reason why they commit suicide. The fuck is that shit?
Yeah. Now, speaking of transphobia, by the way, people have been accusing Andrew Gray, the former, I say, he was the Super Megaforce and Megaforce Red Ranger of transphobia because he reposted something from, I think it was PragerU on Twitter.
Oh,
or something like that. Quite frankly, dear God, how weak are you?
People have accused me of being racist just for retweeting a video of a turtle all attacking a guy's shoe just because it was colored black.
That's but this is common knowledge at this point that turtles do that to dark colored objects. It's not even a race thing.
Yeah, but
turtles have eyes.
Yeah, but
specifically made.
Yeah, but I'm back into the thing I got that people have gotten on me for after with Zeno Robinson. It's like it's like they use that as a slight against me. Yeah, I'm like, oh, so just because of my reposts, I'm somehow a bigot. And then they also use the fact that I said regarding, remember when people were telling white people to stay out of the theater or for Wakanda Forever?
Yeah, I thought that was bullshit.
I said in regards to that article brought by Bounding into Comics, I'm like, do you want this movie to be successful or no? Make up your mind. As in, you can't just rely on one part of the community to go see, rather to see a movie. When you need, a lot of people all willing to see a superhero movie about a black superhero.
Let's not forget, these are the same kind of people who don't know Stan Lee.
Yeah.
When Stan Lee was the one who practically created the Black Panther.
Yeah, he did. And I'm just like, if you're gonna accuse me of being a supposed bigot, at the very least, have some kind of proof that I have ever said anything resembling a racist remark. Like, please have something instead of just saying it just because I dare to criticize someone's morally questionable decision and who happen to be black. Because trust me, I would do the same thing to literally anybody else. I have criticized multiple people before, or I've quit. Like, I do not have any prejudice against specific people or the specific races of people. I have a prejudice against stupid people, well, as in people who decide to be stupid on the internet, for no goddamn reason. That is the only prejudice I have. Apologies. Is for disrupting anything from this conversation. Was there anything else about this you wanted to bring up? Gizmo?
What, the
So yeah,
cyberpunk
I
thing?
did have something I wanted to. I did have something I wanted to bring up. So, somebody said that Andrew Gray, he said on Facebook that Jason David Frank was going to go to hell because he committed suicide. Right? And that lie made its way halfway around on the Power Rangers fandom before the internet had a chance to debunk it, because that wasn't Andrew Gray who said that. That was some fucker.
Yeah.
Just some random guy said that.
Yeah, there's no way.
I don't know what Andrew Gray's opinion about this is, and quite frankly, nobody
cares.
Nobody
cares to.
Yeah.
Well, I know that it's not that.
Yeah,
probably not.
Because I'm sure Andrew Gray's worked with
JDF.
JDF.
Andrew worked with him on Super Mega Force.
Because Jason David Frank has had quite the presence in the Power Rangers cat. As not just in MMPR, but also in a bunch of other Power Rangers shows.
He's been in Turbo for a bit before he got replaced. He was in Zeo, not Dino Charge. I think he was in what was it called? Dino Thunder. He's been in the movie, obviously, as a cameo. He's been in the modern movie as a cameo.
I didn't even. I know Austin St. John was in that movie. He has a cameo, but I didn't think he was in there.
What I mean is like the Power Rangers movie, not the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie.
Yeah, I know you're talking the 2017 movie.
Yeah, that one.
I didn't know he was
made a cameo.
I know, like I said, I know Austin St. John and whoever was Kimberly, I think her name
Pink
was.
Ranger also made an appearance. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kimberly. She made an appearance as a cameo.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I know those people made cameos, but I didn't know Jason David Frank was in that one.
Oh yeah, he was
Yep.
even in a deleted. He was even a cameo in a deleted scene.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was kind of mad about the deleted scene, and they
You know, I'll be honest.
those scenes shouldn't have been deleted.
I'll be honest. If we do MMPR the movie, we also got to do the 2017 film.
Dude, I love that film.
Absolutely. I love the 2017
I
film.
don't get the hate
The
for
only
it, man.
problem
I
I
really
had
don't.
was the
It's a
Megazord.
really good movie.
Yeah, even Doug
Like, the
Walker.
Megazord
who's
is
a
out.
known- Yeah, even Doug Walker, who's a known detractor of Power Rangers, has said that he likes the movie.
What,
And
the 2017
I wish
movie?
they'd
Yeah,
had
the
an
2017
opportunity.
movie.
I wish they'd had an opportunity to make a sequel and like fix
Yeah.
the Megazord design, update the suits a little bit, add some color relief in there. Or like I saw somebody paint the figures so that they had
Don't do that.
so they had some color that was more reminiscent of that from the show. Well, and it was like they were
I
legitimately
don't like
beautiful.
when they do that to
Like,
original figures, man.
well, all they did was they just touched up the silver bits and added like a brighter color silver to it that was almost white, and it looked really cool.
That's racist.
And the Megazords were much better with a better paint job too, but those were fucking garbage from the get go. Like the
I
fact that
actually
they
like the
were
Megazord design.
No, I'm talking about the toys.
Oh,
Like
okay,
they were
okay,
a fucking parts former. Like you have to snap
anybody
the
else
T-Rex's legs off to make his arms, you know? Oh, that
Did
shit.
Did anyone else find the Krispy Kreme product placement kind of out of place?
It was kind of interesting.
That was weird. That was weird, but it wasn't the worst thing that I've seen.
No, it wasn't
in a movie.
And if anything, I was like, that's an interesting way to do.
Honestly, like the fact it's better than what fucking Animorphs did, where they had some fucking like they replaced McDonald's with some diner.
So they just called it some diner.
No, they called it a diner, and they asked for a cheeseburger with extra cheese instead of a Happy Meal with extra happy. And well, how many people ask for a cheeseburger extra cheese?
Nobody.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, lots of people. Lots of people are going to ask for a cheeseburger with extra cheese because people like burgers, people like cheese, people like cheeseburgers, and people like extra cheesy cheeseburgers. How many people accidentally made their way into the secret hideout by asking for a cheesy burger with extra cheese?
Cheesy burger just sounds like a made-up thing. I don't know why. Like
that's the thing I picked up from Mr. Plinkett. So
the cheeseburger sounds normal. When you say cheesy burger, that just sounds foreign to me for some reason. Like what? You want a what kind of burger? You mean a cheeseburger?
The bees churger.
Cheesy burger. Yeah, it's like a bees churger. It's like, what are you talking about?
I
think we can move on from
I don't
that.
like Jane Eyre as a book.
I think we can move on now to some... let's see. We already talked about the Ubisoft and the Red Dead Redemption thing. I think I'll leave this one for last. But here's some lighthearted news. There's a trailer for the first Pokemon live action series, and it's not really what you think.
It's for the card game.
No, it's just about a woman that's playing Pokemon on her Game Boy Pocket.
Interesting.
Kind of like the Tetris movie.
Kinda. I guess that's a good comparison. It's
yeah.
From what I was able to tell. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say you can't make a movie out of the game Tetris. I don't know how the fuck you'd manage to do that. That's just something.
Now, if you were to, and yeah, I get what you're coming from. Now, if you made a game about how Tetris came to be, then you could do something
that's
like
what
that.
I'm talking about. That's what the movie did, and that's how you do that.
This
But
kind of takes that same step, but instead of the making of Tetris, it's about how a woman goes by life while playing Pokemon, and like apparently it is really wholesome, adorable, good. It's heartwarming, from what the looks of it. Like m- she's introducing little kids to the original Pokemon. She's like comparing like the evolution of a Magikarp into a Gyarados to like how a guy is gaining courage. Like the boss is outright saying no more Pokemon at work, and she's upset about it. Apparently, this is a Japanese only show. And this looks really good. This looks adorable.
I hope they subtitle it officially and release it in English, because that sounds like it would be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
But
It could always be
Oh.
messed
you know,
up.
this is probably one of the things we're going to have to rely on our friends in the fan sub community for, at least at the very start.
Oof.
Oh God.
I remember, speaking of fan sub community, I remember when a friend of mine was saying, "Oh, I got to see Battle of Gods before the official release." I'm not going to spoil it for you, and then I pointed out that what like you're talking about Super Saiyan God, the thing that's in every promotional image for the fucking movie. Like that was what she was talking about when she said spoilers, and I'm like that's not a spoiler. That's like saying
It's on the poster.
yeah, it's like saying that fucking Mysterio is the villain of Spider-Man in No Way Home. I'm sorry.
Well, no,
Far
that
From
wasn't
Home.
really that wasn't
Far
really
From Home.
obvious at first, though, because it shows him as the hero, and they introduced the multiverse. You could people almost believe that it was going to be a multiverse thing.
Listen, frankly, it would have been a less obvious twist if he actually was telling the truth. But
I get what you're saying.
So
More lighthearted news. How many of you are? Well, there's only two of you here. Well, I don't know. Is Sonic still here?
no, he's not.
He left.
Yeah.
Okay. Are either of you aware of the game that was canceled by Hasbro, My Little Pony Fighting Is Magic?
Yes, I am aware of that.
So what happened to that was, after it got canceled, fans have been messing with it over the years. One that's most notable is where people fixed the bugs, the AI, the infinite combos and stuff like that, so they could balance it out. Another one was that another thing to mention is that it seems that people have taken the game and tried to add in more characters. Period. Well, hold on. Let me rephrase this a better way. It looks like they were trying to add in characters in which they were hoping to see in the game, because you got to remember, fighting games usually consists of more than just 6 characters. That's what Fighting Is Magic had at first, just 6 characters, the main six ponies. Her, main, kill me. But most notably, someone managed to make a sprite of Princess Luna for this version of Fighting Is Magic. And it's not just some janky stop motion. Someone actually made a sprite for Princess Luna in this game. So, but keep in mind, I have to warn you, if you ever want to look for this, you got to be careful. Because apparently every time someone tries to look for this specific build of Fighting Is Magic, there have been viruses, hacking involved, stuff like that. So if you want to look for this, be my guest. But again,
It reminds me of that
really tough.
Sonic fan game that had all the DRM in it.
You gotta be a bit more specific than that.
There was a Sonic fan game that had a bunch of DRM in it, and it was very, very strange. It was like, oh, don't steal my sprites and shit like that.
That was fucking weird.
Yeah, because it was a bunch of custom sprites apparently.
Some bizarre news. Youmacon. How? Just saying that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Do you, Ridley?
Yes, I do. I've actually seen it on Twitter. And my
For those who are-
word, you are Youmacon. You are dooming yourself.
For those who are,
Yeah.
for those who are watching who don't know, a guy called Kyle Carosa. Am I saying that right? Who
Yes,
fuck cares?
you are saying it correctly.
A guy that was involved in a show called Mighty Magiswords. Apparently, he has been involved in some shady stuff. You want to elaborate on that, Ridley? Because you guys you seem to know more about it.
I believe it was due to the fact that he was screwing over people on a consistent basis.
Yeah, he was screwing with people, somebody messing with people's health care and stuff, and it basically being various kinds of verifiable scumbag.
Yeah.
And not like internet hit scumbag. I mean like
outright
there's
scumbag.
receipts. Like there's receipts about this stuff that Youmacon has since ignored. And they said, oh, it's a Google document written by one person. And Google documents are neither here nor there in terms of whether or not they're a good source. Any source can be good. It's just a matter of what's in it. And like this is... I overshot my landing. Now I'm going to have to talk to Gloria as Spider-Man and not as Miles. Technically as Spider-Man 2. But yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at something over on my other monitor here. So yeah, yeah. So there's stuff in the Google document that runs down, like, you know, this guy being in a kind of a domineering prick towards people, and ultimately he kind of being the male equivalent of a Zoe Quinn, you know?
Oh God.
Yeah. And Youmacon, you know, for as much as I'd like to say, you know, thanks for not listening to an internet mob about this. Like there, some stuff is like you could have just said nothing at all, and people would have had a better reaction to it, rather than saying, you know, oh, we've looked at all this, and you know, we don't care. And this, unfortunately, this isn't one of those things that I've actually looked super far into. I have given it more than a cursory glance, and it seems, honestly, it seems far more legitimate than any of the other stuff, but that we've had to deal with over the years.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. So, time will certainly tell about, you know, the finer details of this, but
By the way,
ultimately you could have just said nothing and you would have come out looking better than saying something stupid, and people don't understand that. And like, you can sometimes achieve more by doing less.
but don't you know, Alex? I think the only way evil can succeed is if good men do nothing.
Well, yeah, and that's one of my favorite sayings, but at the same time, like you're an entertainment convention. It's not necessary for you to issue a statement on this. More importantly, if you're going to issue a statement, you might as well issue something that makes a lick of sense, instead of something that basically says, as we've looked at this and don't care.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of feel like the way to handle this would be to, you know, let the con play out, you know, kind of not, don't, you know, don't promote, but don't, you know, diminish the things, you know, the things that he's involved in, and we just kind of, like, you know, look into it more significantly, and give it a bit more time, importantly. And then, there's this cache. And, you know, try to come up with... That's interesting, but
I swear, one of the most
not helpful.
busted things in this game is the Wave Buster, which, by the way, in this game acts as like a proton pack, Alex. Even though it can't hurt any ghosts.
Speaking of disappearing, Rooster Teeth has pulled most of its popular content from YouTube and stuck it behind a paywall.
Of course.
Yeah, because paywalling previously free content is totally a great idea, guys.
Rooster Teeth, just stop.
Just go out of business already. Nobody cares. Nobody likes you.
Nobody's like.
Remember when there was a human in that studio? Remember when there was soul?
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember when there was humor?
Remember when Red versus Blue used to be good?
Remember when there was a man? There were men. Now not even there were women. There were men and women. Now it's just
people
mush.
who did things.
They're spineless mush. They aren't men and women anymore. These are mush. These are mushy people. Because they've lost their spine, they lost their heart, they lost their brain.
What if Rooster Teeth was infiltrated by the mushy people?
I don't get the process. I don't get the thought process behind this. Like, okay, look, I get it that there are some things that you have to put behind a paywall or back behind a paywall. You know, excuse me, special features on a DVD or Blu-ray, DLC that you later release along the way. You know, that's debatable though. Microtransactions that, depending on what the game is, it might be fair.
Oh
or
yeah,
unfair.
speaking of releasing along the way, there is a. I said this was going to happen. There's a class action lawsuit against the people who did KOTOR 2 for
KOTOR?
promising the restored content DLC and then not actually delivering.
A lawsuit, huh?
Yeah, class action lawsuit, and I'm going to do my best to get in on that because I bought a copy of KOTOR 2 thinking that they were going to be putting out the restored content patch for the Switch.
Oof.
And they didn't do that.
Yep.
Instead they offered us one measly fucking game, all of which I already owned.
Sounds more like a lawsuit.
I wouldn't necessarily say, hey, that it's a lawsuit. Like a lawsuit implies some level of frivolity. Hey, this is a case of a company promising something and then fucking everybody over.
More like fucking themselves in the ass because they didn't know it would get bitten.
So, okay, so, guys, the section that I'm in the game is that one level. An example of that one, or rather, an example of the trope that one level. Well, I should rephrase.
Oh yeah, there's a new episode of The Simpsons out, apparently. Or was last night.
No one cares.
Oh, what was this about?
I don't know, and frankly, I don't care, because the actors can't perform the fucking voices anymore.
Yeah. It is a shame.
Not all of them, anyway. I think it's about time they find replacements or just stop.
Yeah, they
Well, Dan Castellaneta and Julie Kavner can't, so...
Which is kind of sad to say.
Mm-hmm.
So... One thing that makes this section of the game that I'm of Metroid Prime infamous is the noticeable lack of checkpoints. Checkpoints in Metroid Prime are defined by the save stations that you find throughout the game. You know, they save your progress, heal up your energy, yada yada, blah blah blah. There are barely any that are accessible in this thing. And I gotta go through this whole dang mine more than once. Thankfully, I don't have to go through it in too many times.
Too close. What isn't going to be too close? Too close, even though the waveform is so fucking small. How far away do I need to be?
How low can you go? I said, how low can you go? Oh god.
There's someone on Etsy. How many of you have played the Neversoft Spider-Man?
I have.
Are we
I
talking
tried to play it on stream, but
Are we talking the PS1 game? Because if so,
yes,
then yes.
the PS1 PC game, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
The
I have
PS1,
played
PC,
that.
and 64 game, yeah.
I have played that once. My neighbor owned a PlayStation.
Yeah, did you love the game? Stupid question. Of course you do, because now there's someone on Etsy that's selling a fan-made Neversoft Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Interesting.
like a low polygon version of Spider-Man. I went to their Etsy page, and unfortunately, I don't think they have the Spider-Man anymore. Sure, but they do have a Solid Snake. Unfortunately, it's a giant Solid Snake, and I'm not going to pay $100 for a low poly Solid Snake.
Also, the joke
I
right
mean, some people would.
They're
Well,
selling
yeah,
a lot more. The guy's selling a lot more too. He's selling, let's see, he's
Resident
selling
Evil ones and
Yep,
Final
Resident
Fantasy
Evil.
7. And
He's selling a what is it? Silent Hill ones, like you said. They're selling
Oh.
Mario 64 ones. They're selling let's see here.
Mario 64, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, okay, so it's mostly just it's mostly like a few games, but still, these are pretty cool. I like to get the low poly Snake, low poly
AR
Jill.
swim goggles.
Hell, I'll go for the low poly. I'll go for the low poly Peach. He looks adorable. Oh, dude, though that statue of the zombie, the first zombie from Resident Evil, that looks bad.
That is an awesome bust. Unfortunately, it's way
five-
more than I'm willing to pay for something like that, and it would take up a lot of fucking space.
Yeah, that's the downside. These cost a nice amount of scratch.
Yeah, these are premium prices, like $100 is at minimum. I think he's missing out on his market because he could probably get a lot more money if he sold smaller ones.
I forgot about some of these logs, guys. There's a log with a bunch of stupid space pirates who try to test out morph ball technology, and I'm like, oh god, how many of them died for this? Genuine question.
One. I don't know.
Actually, there are quite a few who died for it. Just because of the fact that they were willing to experiment on it. These space pirates are stupid, man.
Speaking of stupid, Nintendo 3DS and Wii U online services will shut down in April of 2024 next year.
Yeah.
Yar.
Yar,
fiddle-dee-dee.
fiddle-dee-dee. Being a pirate is alright with me. Do what you want.
Nintendo of America tweeted out as of early April 2024, online play and other functionality that uses online communication will end service for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U software.
It's a good thing both of those systems were broken open long ago.
Yep.
Here's the thing, though. It's already hard enough. It's already. Look, I'm all for.
I understand it. It's not good. It shouldn't be happening, and frankly, the fact that the Switch and the 3DS and Wii U, and Wii for that matter, didn't share a unified shop is kind of absurd. Like, I should have been able to, because I have certain games on my, it's Red Rhino. Excuse me, I have games on my 3DS that. Why did you kick him? It's the Rhino. Yeah, I have games on my 3DS that are available on Wii U. Excuse me, Wii U, and Switch.
Interesting.
And Miles just got a concussion. And his suit's fucked up now.
Well,
Peter, save me.
Now, would you say it's a mild concussion?
Sit in the corner.
And now I've been taken captive by Simon Krieger. And he's playing Green Goblin on me by not taking my mask off.
Bum 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 bum.
Anyways, yeah. So there's games on there that I would have liked to play on my Switch, but I can't because they didn't have a unified storefront. Their idea of cross-buy was if you bought the Wii U version of a game, you could get a code for the 3DS in the same box, and vice versa.
Yeah, the problem with that is that they didn't do that with many games.
Yeah. Well, they didn't do that with many games, and they didn't do that, and they didn't do it right. Like, the best way to do that would have been to just have a unified storefront, like Xbox Live is. Like, Xbox Live has its issues, but Xbox Live also lets me download my fucking Xbox 360 games to my Xbox Series X. At least the ones that are, you know, oh, he can't touch me.
Here's what's also weird about this. They brought back the online service for Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon. Well, no, yeah, Mario Kart 8 on Wii U and Splatoon. You just brought it back, and you're now just announcing that they're shutting the servers down in April next year? Why would you do that?
Only doing this for, like, so that they could have, like, cross-play between the Switch versions of those games?
I guess. I mean, like,
Why?
even then,
How did the Rhino fit in here? Those ceilings are too short for him. Where is he going?
Even if that was the case, though, it's a little too late, don't you think? I mean, the Wii U's and the 3DS are on their last legs, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Oh, love.
I mean,
You know,
I mean, God.
hitting
I mean,
him with more electricity isn't going to help you. He's literally powered by it.
it's already enough that
Miles,
they shut down.
Miles, have you been taking Connor's suck pills lately?
It's already enough that they shut down the
And
eShop,
now I have to go Super Saiyan to escape.
It's already enough that they
Okay.
shut down the eShop. Why do they have to go further and shut down the servers for online games? They don't have to do that. They really don't.
Oh, quite frankly, they wouldn't have needed to if they'd provided proper peer-to-peer support like the original Xbox did.
But here's the thing: with the original Xbox 3, with the 360 games and the Xbox One, you can easily either transfer the save data onto the cloud so you can play the same save data on your Xbox. As much as I hate that, it's an option.
Yeah, or send it to a thumbstick or a hard drive or something like that.
Right. I wish that was an option. I wish that was the option.
Sailor Soldier Spy. That movie was terrible.
As much as I hate that option, it's an option. I hate it. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to maybe keep on using my 360 up until I need to get another one. But fuck,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to do. But here's the thing. They gave you the option to play your 360 games on your Xbox 360, and these are games that you can play with any controller. You know, Switch controller, 360 controller, Xbox One controller, Xbox Series X controller, PS4, PS5, PS3. You can literally transfer these games onto anything and use any controller, and it would feel fine. Wii U and 3DS games, on the other hand, you try putting any of those on an emulator, there's always going to be something different and something missing that's going to take you away from the full experience. I mean, mind you,
Zombie U, when it was ported to the PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Yeah, you couldn't use the
Completely missed
anymore.
out on a giant aspect of the game. No multiplayer. That multiplayer was, quite frankly, one of the best multiplayers in any game ever made.
The wonderful
But it didn't
101.
make it into the PC version, or the Xbox One version, or the PS4 version. And now the game is shutting down.
The wonderful 101 is also another good example because people have tried playing it on the Switch, and they do not like that version. Even when they were to play it on portable mode, where you can use the touch screen, where you can use the screen as a touch screen, they said it is nowhere near as good as the original Wii U version. And I get that. I really do.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with, and never mind the games that have been ported. There are some games that still have not been ported and couldn't get ported anyway. Sonic Lost Worlds. Well, Bayonetta 2 is something that they could do, but here's the thing.
Well, they did.
But that's, yeah, they can, and they have, and they done it. But here's one of the games I'm talking about.
Another example of a game that like the best versions of those are kind of on the Wii U because they fucked with the color scheme on the Switch version.
Yeah, let's not forget, Yoshi's Woolly World is still not ported over to Switch.
Oh, how many other Wii U games haven't been ported to Switch? There's a shitload of them.
Yeah, there's a lot, and for good reason, because they work with the Wii U gamepad. The first Splatoon works well with the Wii U gamepad because of the map and everything like that.
God, you guys aren't looking up, are you?
Kirby and the Rainbow Curse is basically like the Kirby game that was on DS. I think it was Canvas Curse. It works really well with the touchpad. There's no way that can work on a Switch. Because what are you going to do? Constantly play it on portable mode? There's a lost opportunity there for Nintendo to patch the Switch and make I don't know, some sort of app that lets you sync the gamepad to it. Star Fox Zero, you can all bite me.
God, Star Fox Zero needs
you can all bite me.
Overhauls.
This is actually a good game on the Wii U. They did the
no, I understand it's a good game. It's just that it's kind of like I liked a lot of what it was trying to do. It's just that it's got some issues with how it was doing it.
Yeah.
The only reason people didn't like it is because they have to get used to a new control. But that's literally any video game you pick up. Even the most familiar video game you pick up, you still got to get used to the controls because let's say you haven't played that kind of game in quite a while. You're still getting used to a different control scheme. It's the same thing here. Like, oh, I haven't played a game like this in quite a while, or at all. You're still learning a control scheme. You do that with every game, whether you play it for the first time or you're revisiting it. For example, when I was playing Persona 4, it took me a while to realize that realize that the main pro tag, once he's gone, it's game over. Doesn't matter if the rest of them are doing fine. If he's knocked out.
Oh yeah, it's like that for every
Yeah, I fucking hate it when they do stuff
game.
like that.
Yeah, it took
with
me a while
games where
to
it's like,
remember.
okay, hey, he's unconscious. I can haul around the other guy's unconscious in my fucking backpack all that I want, but until I get to a rest area. But then
when the
if the main guy goes unconscious, then I have to start all over again, even if the rest of the party is still up.
And that's
it's
also doubly frustrating since after Persona 4 came out, it's like, oh, now you can and make it so that you can control your other party members' actions. They aren't scripted to do whatever thing their AI tells them to do. Well, and of course, it's like when they get to but then of course it's like even then, and if your pro tag goes out, that's game over. And the worst part is there aren't enough checkpoints to really help you out there. So
that's an issue with fucking just about every fucking an RPG, honestly. Like, I can't goddamn stand when they have like this endless grind that goes all the way up to the fucking boss area. Like, you could beat the boss if the lead up to the boss wasn't full of bullshit, you know? But you got like random encounter, and then you're like, like at 50% health at most by the time you get to the boss, so you have to do a bunch of grinding just so that you can survive. So that you can survive to get there, or you need to do other shit, like, you know, stock up on potions and whatnot, and there's no guarantee that that's going to help you.
Nope. None whatsoever.
But my point still stands, though. The only reason that people were not liking Star Fox Zero was because of the new type of controllers they had to get used to. That's literally...
It's not what I'd call a new type of controller. It's the matter of
control
like,
scheme, I mean.
The control scheme was not natural compared to the previous Star Fox games. Like, you gotta build on the things that the previous games did, and it's like if Resident Evil all of a sudden out of nowhere, or started, it comes back to the Final Fantasy conversation we were having earlier. If Resident Evil all of a sudden out of nowhere, or started turning into a 3D parkour game, and rather than, like, you know, Resident Evil 4, you know, adding mechanics as the games go on, and, you know, building on the control scheme that existed from the first game came to now. Or maybe like Resident Evil Dead Aim, where you just had a hybrid first-person, third-person and control scheme, and neither of them were any good. You know, people are gonna be thrown for a loop, and eventually, you know, people will just say, like, you know, I don't care about this anymore.
Yeah.
For as much as I like to say, you know, get used to the good thing. You know, make new good thing, get used to a good thing. There's a certain amount of familiarity will help you in the long run, you know? Like, try to make minimal changes. Is like, if you have dramatic changes, make sure they're an improvement.
Yeah.
And not just different for difference's sake.
Of course.
But that's something that everybody should probably take into account. I kind of don't like how they're making Miles into Super Saiyan Spider-Man here.
Sorry.
Oh, wow, my bioelectricity power might be able to help you.
Blah, 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 blah.
Venom.
Last thing on the itinerary is a... Well, no, second to last anyway. There's some new additions to the Electric Ferret database I'd like to go over.
We might be able to talk about the that debate topic we brought up a little while ago.
Right. That's why I said second to last.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the first one up is Duo Lawn from the King of Fighters. Ladon from Shazam Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, fuck you.
Prowl from Transformers Animated.
Transformers Animated is a great show.
Yes, with David
and it
Cage,
had
Optimus Prime.
And it had excellent, and I do mean excellent, McDonald's Happy Meal toys.
Aki from Street Fighter V. Michelle Burnham from Star Trek Discovery.
Michael Burnham.
I thought it was Michelle.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Merrick from...
It's a woman with the name Michael.
Why?
By the way, she's Spock's adopted sister.
Oh, fuck that. Go fuck yourself. I'm not gonna...
I know. This is fucking bizarre.
Fucking Spock. Fuck you. God damn it. This show's getting stupider.
Well, Discovery was never good, except when Pike was on screen.
Except whenever she cried, I would always start cheering.
Anson Mount was too good for that show, and thankfully he got a better show until the Backstreet Boys episode of the Klingons.
Oh my fucking god.
Although, to be perfectly honest, that was funny, so I can give them a little bit of a pass.
Merrick
little-
from us.
Go on.
Merrick from Ahsoka.
Galen Merrick?
Looks like it.
Fucking Star Killer is in that show?
No, it just says Merrick.
How is it
M-
spelled?
Marrok.
Okay,
So
hey,
it's
that-
not the same
That's
guy.
that's not. Yeah, that can't be the same guy then.
Gregor Clegan from Game of Thrones.
I'm surprised the rest of the Game of Thrones cast. I'm surprised the whole Game of Thrones cast isn't on there.
Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones show played during this website's shutdown. So
Okay.
yeah. Captain Enoch from Ahsoka. The fuck do you say?
The
Joris.
best part of that show. The best part of that show was Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Joris Cabauth from the expanded universe Star Wars. Man Elephant from Marvel Comics. Gold Lewis Dickinson from
Miles.
Guilty Gear.
Miles, please.
Interesting.
The Ultimate Ninja from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2003.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy.
The Batwoman, Gloria. That is not Batwoman.
By the way, fun fact: since the trilogy version, since Prime Remastered is based off the trilogy version, we get the added cutscene of Samus getting the grapple beam as opposed to just her standing around,
Cool.
not as though she got the power, as though she gets any other power up. Which I'm like,
Nimona
Who?
from
Sorry, go ahead.
Nimona from Pokemon.
I don't remember who that is.
Torpedo from G.I. Joe.
I probably should know who that is.
Executioner from Mace the Dark Age.
Mace the Dark Age. That's an interesting game. I won't call it great, but it is interesting.
Red Rocket from DC Comics. The Neomorphs from Alien Covenant.
No.
SCP-073 from the SCP Foundation.
Okay.
Eldon Tyrell from Blade Runner. Leatherneck from G.I. Joe.
Okay.
La Lunatica from X-Men 2099. And lastly, Wasabi from Big Hero 6.
okay then,
The movie, not the comic book. That's entirely different.
right?
Yeah.
And there's finally a
This is
winner.
getting Half-Lifey on me.
And now there's finally a winner for that writing contest.
All right.
See right here. In 12th place, Venom 2008 for his Raditz versus Hulk in the Agents of Smash match. That got a 3.93.
Huh.
11th place, Leroy Powell 3 with his William Lennox versus Laserbeak match. 4.0.
Laserbeak.
10th place, me. I made it.
Wow.
I made Tremor versus Ty Lee, 4.2. Tied in 8th place, Broadway Beyonder, Bloody Mary versus La Lorana.
La Lerona.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Fran
La
would hate you
Llorona.
right now,
Yeah.
Gizmo.
4.3.
The only reason I know that is because the Curse of La Llorona was something that the YouTube ad played constantly back in the day, and I managed to pick up the pronunciation there.
Alex, let's just say that Fran would hate Gizmo right now. because
I know-
he is quite a fan of that movie.
Huh. Okay. So
I Know All entered as well, and he tied 8th place with his Alfred Pennyworth versus Little Slugger, 4.3. 7th place, D Skills, the TMNT from 2003 versus the J Team from Jackie Chan Adventures,
hey,
Four-
I like both of
4.3
those shows.
4.35. In 6th place is Colwick 1, B from the Babysitter versus Baby Firefly.
Why would they need that?
You're asking the wrong guy. 4.42. 5th place, Mercenary Blade, Commando Droids versus Imperial Death Troopers. 4.46.
Oh yeah, did you see the fucking zombie troopers in that one episode of Ahsoka? And they had Ezra, Ahsoka, and Sabine. Ezra, Ahsoka, and Sabine fighting them. And I said that would have been 1,000 times better if it was Anakin, Ahsoka, and Rex doing that.
Sounds about right. 4th place, and as well, 4th place with someone new called Mistress of Words, Corvo Atano versus the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. 4.48.
Jeepers Creepers is a weird fucking series.
It is, especially since the director of the movie was a pedo.
Yeah.
Oh
Ugh.
dear.
Yeah,
That's
it's a touchy subject to
that
just bringing
made
up
it
the
into
movie.
one of the sequels.
Jesus Christ. Now it's to the top 3. Bronze medal, Pizza Guy, $29.95. Okoye versus Black Noir, 4.5. Second place for the silver medal, Macklemore, Jack Frost versus Jack Frost from Shin Megami Tensei, 4.58. First place, Johnny Chaney, Linka from Captain Planet, one of the Planeteers, versus Jesse Raspberry, 4.65.
I'm sorry, what?
Jesse Raspberry, the girl that stayed alive in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
The one voiced by Erica Lindbeck.
The one with the literal breastplate. She's got first place, 4.65, and she is now the official winner of the $100 digital gift card.
Okay.
Next month they'll be holding up another contest. What'll the theme be? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting either way. And let me bring up the results for each of these matches because the results are interesting. Let's see here. Raditz versus... Where is it?
There's gonna be a lot of people who get fucking hurt if you blow something up in New York City. Have we forgotten 9/11?
Raditz versus the Agents of Smash and Hulk. Do you know what the results were for this?
Fuck.
Raditz got
You guys
0.
are fucking dumb.
Raditz
How
got
did Raditz
0.
get 0?
And the Hulk and the Agents of Smash got 3 votes. William Lennox versus Laserbeak. Oh, excuse me. Let's see what this one got.
Where's the third one of you guys? I know I saw 3 of you come out.
That's racist.
I'm talking about the Chozo Ghosts.
Jeepers. So, Jeepers Creepers 3, from the Wikipedia page, caused controversy over its alleged use of child molestation as a plot line. The dialogue, can you blame him though? I mean, look at her. The heart wants what it wants, am I right? Referring to the sexual abuse victim within the movie was singled out for criticism due to Victor Salva's, the director's, 1988 incarceration for child sexual abuse and child pornography possession. Yeah.
Christ.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, just so you know, Corvo Altano is the guy from Dishonored.
Oh, right! I should have
Just
fucking
about-
known that, but I...
Corvo
Hey,
Altano.
Capcom, by the way, a lot of ladders are yellow. You don't actually have to splash yellow paint on them. They come that way from the store.
They're treating you like idiots. Corvo Altano got 2 votes. The Creeper got 3 votes.
Huh.
I mean, it checks out.
I get to use my detective vision. Suck it,
Oh.
Batman.
B from the Babysitter versus Baby Firefly. That got, let's see. The Babysitter got 2 votes. The Baby Firefly got 1.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Bloody Mary versus La Leona.
La Llorona. La Llorona.
La Llorona.
Something like that.
Let's see. The results here are Bloody Mary 1, La Llorona 4. Interesting. I thought Bloody Mary would get more votes.
God, that was a fucking bad perspective shot there.
The Commando Droids versus the Imperial Death Troopers. This one got Imperial Death Troopers 1, Commando Droids 5 votes.
Interesting.
Huh.
Okay. William Lennox from the Transformers movies versus Laserbeak. You know, this thing's wicked.
William Lennox, that's the military guy, right?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that guy. The guy
You
who
got
should have
phone?
been the main character instead of Sam.
You know, I don't want a premium package.
Are you talking about the guy played by Josh Duhamel?
I don't know who that is,
Yes.
and if that's his name, yes. William Lennox got 3 votes, Laserbeak got 6.
That is a move you stole from Captain America. I should not have needed you to save my ass, girly.
Oh, and I have to emphasize, Jack Frost, specifically, this is the Jack Frost horror movie, Jack
Oh,
Frost.
yeah, of course I'm going to handle the run, and now we get to reuse this scene from earlier in the game. And indeed, every Spider-Man game the Rhino shows up in.
Take a guess who won.
Who won?
Jack Frost from Shin Megami Tensei. 4 votes, Jack Frost 0.
I should have figured, because Shin Megami Tensei...
Run the Rhino.
As
Run the
people
Rhino into a
have
wall.
looked into Shin Megami Tensei cosmology, and it's literally insane.
Yeah. Run the Rhino into a wall. Beat him up.
Linka from the
Standard procedure.
Linka the Planeteer from Captain Planet versus Jesse Raspberry from Final Fantasy VII. Linka got 2 votes, Jesse Raspberry got 0. Okoye from Marvel Comics versus Black Noir. Let's see here.
Okoye, she was one of Black Panther's bodyguards, right?
Yes.
Yep, she got 4 votes. Black Noir got 1.
I'm surprised. Black Noir. I'd almost think that Black Noir would be a more popular character than somebody who does basically nothing.
Right.
But then again, Black Noir also does basically nothing in The Boys, so... Unless, of course, you read the comics.
Alfred Pennyworth versus Lil Slugger. Alfred got 4 votes. Lil Slugger got 1. TMNT 2003 versus the J-Team. Let's see what we got here.
I'm guessing the EO3 Turtles win because they're
Yes.
the only one carrying the J-Team is Uncle. Oh, and Uncle's a fucking badass. You mo gwig Wi-Fi Sao. You mo gwig Wi-Fi Sao.
Yeah, 2003 Turtles win by 5
the
votes.
J-Team doesn't include Jackie?
No, it includes Jackie, but the thing is that
includes
that
Jackie
team
and
is carried by Uncle,
The J team has Toro El. I was gonna say Fuerte. Toro El. It has Toru, El Toro, Viper, Jackie, Uncle, and Jade in the entire team.
Yeah, again, that team is carried by Uncle.
And Viper. And the votes are... The votes come in TMNT 2003 5, the J Team 3. And finally mine. I turned mine in at the last minute. I was just lucky that I thought of this match. And that's Tremor
most of the time whenever I hear about these, I'm either working on something else or I don't have anything in mind, you know?
Yeah, it happens a lot with me. This one is Tremor from Mortal Kombat versus Ty Lee from The Last Airbender, Avatar. Tremor got...
What are those?
The movie or the show?
The show.
Good.
What are those
Tremor...
who even have in common?
Well, Magnetic Ferret has some stuff where it's more about the theme of the matchup than it is actually about what they have in common.
Okay.
The theme here is characters that were never used, and I was surprised to see that. And I was surprised to see that Ty Lee was not used even once. Tremor, not really. Because, Avatar is really popular.
Yeah.
Tremor got 4 votes, Ty Lee got 3. That surprised me. Honestly, that surprised me.
So, fun fact, the Jeepers Creepers reboot also ran into legal issues because Myriad Pictures filed a lawsuit against Infinity Film Holdings for producing the film without their knowledge or involvement.
Huh.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I don't know. That could be like one of those Tenjin Tetris situations where somebody thought they had the rights, but they didn't, but they made it anyways.
That makes sense. And since I'm done with the second to last subject, now it's time for the last subject of the day. And a segment I like to call Friendly Hate. And it's a debate topic on this subject. Would My Hero Academia have been good, or even better, if Deku stayed quirkless?
No.
Oh, yeah, quite frankly, I don't think so. It's a good topic for debate, but it's one of those things where it would have become a different series at that point, you know?
Yeah, it would have just been like a completely different show. By that point, and nobody could really make it work.
I don't know. I think
at that point, it's basically like what if Batman joined the X-Men? You know?
Yeah.
No, that's different though, because with the X-Men, it's an allegory for. With the X-Men, it's supposed to be an allegory for like racism and like prejudice and stuff like that. So, if you were to have like Batman, what if Batman joined the X-Men? It wouldn't really make sense any way you slice it. Deku, on the other hand, if he were to remain quirkless, it would have made sense story-wise and character progression-wise, because it's rare for anybody to be quirkless at all in a universe like that. So maybe there would have been a story of, like the everyday man becoming a hero to everybody, something like that. Yeah, but
that's already what the show was about.
Not really, though. I mean, like, this guy got powers either way. He gained power by just a guy giving it to him. Like, hey, you're worthy. I get it. It's like hey, you're worthy. Here you go. You have the heart, yada yada. But he was still literally giving it to him.
Well, I mean, he had to figure out how to make it work without destroying his body too.
Yeah.
He was still literally given his powers, and he was still quirky.
But he also had his fucking Rocky training montage, you know?
Yes, the Rocky training montage that gave him the bod that many girls would.
It's not much a Rocky training montage than it is a Goku training montage. Because at least with Rocky, you're trying to bring a guy from the slums up to stardom. This guy,
right?
Forget the slums. He was already faced he's already knee deep in the dirt.
Yeah.
It would have been nice. It would have been interesting to see a guy with no
want you to kill him.
superpowers.
Real,
It would have been
real bad.
interesting to see. It would have been interesting to see. It would have been interesting to see Deku with no superpowers whatsoever try and become a superhero in a world where literally everybody's got a superpower.
Problem.
Whether it be something as cool as super speed or something as stupid as I don't know,
Bananas power.
spitting out ice cream.
Oh, the fucking ice cream. Soft serve.
Don't get
Girl
me
who
started on her.
Soft serve ice cream. Jesus
Don't
Christ.
get me started. Do not get me started on soft serve.
Oh, would you look at
soft
that?
serve.
Would you look at that? It's like letting off a nuke in Manhattan.
Oh boy, Ridley asking who's soft serve.
Okay,
No.
so
in the-
real quick,
the X-
I'm going.
Okay, what?
I'll sum it up. There's a mutant character who can
Oh, that's what
soft
you're
serve
talking
ice
about.
cream
My
from
bad.
the soft serve ice cream dimension. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
For those,
I didn't know about that.
yeah,
My
for
bad.
those who are
Yeah.
listening in and watching, the 2.5 of you that are watching, soft serve is a Marvel Comics character that is able
Remember
to
the
create,
X-Men, by the way.
Yeah, soft serve is a Marvel Comics character that's part of the X-Men that has the power to create ice cream and I quote from the character Forge, "It's the most delicious ice cream anyone's ever tasted." Well, he's ever tasted anyway.
You
The
know,
problem-
I
the
ain't
problem
fucking
with-
eating that.
The problem with that, when she creates ice cream, she doesn't literally create it out of thin air. She doesn't put her hand on like an ice cream cone and make ice cream appear magically. What she does is she pops a squat and makes the ice cream that way because
Yeah, her butthole is a portal to the ice cream dimension, is the way it was
Okay,
described.
that's disgusting.
Yeah, you think I'm bullshitting, but no, they literally
No.
described it as the soft serve dimension, similar to how Cyclops has a punch dimension in his eyes.
Mhm.
She shits out ice cream, and you know what's funny though?
Oh my God, you're Spider-Man.
You know what's funny though? I have to bring this up again. Forge says it's the most delicious ice cream he has ever eaten. Okay, when I heard this, when I read that, when I saw that, to me, when he says that, this ice cream not only has to be the most delicious ice cream he's ever eaten, right? It has to be the most cleanest, the most sanitary, the most spotless, and the healthiest form of ice cream as anyone could ever lay their eyes on. The problem with that
It's
is
coming
that
out of a girl's butt.
it's coming out of a girl's butt. It's coming out of her pooper scooper. There's no way, no matter how many showers you get, no matter how many sanitation cycles you go through and no matter how many radiation baths you get, there's no way in hell, no matter how many bars of soap you shove up there, that anybody's going to be eating ice cream coming out of your dookie hole. I don't care if it's the greatest I don't care if it's the greatest triple scoop of rainbow sherbet I've ever eaten. I don't care if it's the tastiest chocolate chip mint ice cream I've ever had. You're still taking a crap on my ice cream plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And this is ugh, my God. But yeah.
Yeah, so
going back to topic, I do think if they tried, Deku might have made an interesting quirkless arc. Like we've all been hearing, we all seen comparisons to like American characters before when it comes to manga and anime, right? Like Big O. People have called the character that's the main character in Big O basically Batman with a mech.
yeah, anime Batman.
Yeah.
And they've called Zero anime Batman as well.
Right.
Oh, I just had a really good idea. So this would be a good idea for a what-if story. I don't think it would have been really good as an idea for the main story. So I think that the way you could make this work is if you have like a My Hero Academia video game, or like maybe like a what if series or movie or something like that, and you could probably have like, what if All Might died before he was able to pass
One
One for All on to Deku? Like after he'd already, told Deku about it, and Deku had started training, but before he actually passed on the power.
Here's the problem with that. I like the idea, but someone has already taken the what if scenario and made it into a popular thing.
Well, I think that would have been a really good idea, because then, and like Deku, who is going to be like he's going to be like training hardcore. He's going to be trying to figure out who killed All Might, and how to avenge his mentor and things like that.
Like a Batman or a Robin.
Yeah, he's going to be like going on a war path. And I think he might wind up more ruthless than Bakugo at the end of that little what if.
Bakugo's basically the fucking Red Hood at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to use the anime as a reference, he's kind of like Vegeta. If you want to use comic books as a reference, he's kind of like Red Hood.
Red Hood or Guy Gardner, if you want to focus on
Guy
his
Gardner,
temper.
maybe. But I think that'd be a really good idea to have as the plot line to a My Hero Academia video game. Or a movie.
Movie, I can see it happening. I just don't see it actually being a whole series, because again, someone
It's
actually
maybe
tried,
like a mini series,
someone actually tried doing this by themselves. I think it's like a fan comic right now, and this basically is Deku never got his powers, and instead of actually not giving up on his dreams of becoming a hero, he instead gives up and decides to just become an outright quirkless villain.
I don't like that. I don't think that's in character for him.
Yeah, that
this
goes
is like
against everything he stood
Yeah,
for.
this is like those Rosario plus Vampire her fix about how like, oh, Mocha's gonna leave Tsukune if he doesn't give up his humanity or whatever.
I never
Or-
saw
and then-
that.
and like- And
Well-
like there was one that was really fucking stupid where like he basically goes and joins a fucking SWAT team and has Kurumu and Mizure as his wives after that, while Mocha got fucking plowed by
the
by
ogre.
Wolfie Boy.
Really?
Okay,
That guy?
so
Yeah,
okay, so
it's
I'm
really,
gonna
it was a really bad
I'm
fix.
gonna have to call it for the night because it's getting late. So
Yeah, I'm gonna.
next time on
You guys are
Metroid
fucking blind.
Prime, I'm gonna be doing a lot of pickup collections. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. So
Are you sure about that?
it's not. So look forward to that. Anyway, I'm gonna be signing off now. Oh, and join me next week for more Pokemon Emerald.
Join me next week for more Spider-Man. But before we go, California will officially ban Skittles and other candies from the state starting 2027 as Governor Gavin Newsom signed Bill AB 418, also known as the California Food Safety Act.
I saw
The
that.
bill
There's
targets
no way.
food products
Yeah, no
that
way.
contain the substances brominated vegetable oil, potassium bromate, propylparaben, or red dye 3. Red dye 3 is found in Skittles and other confectionaries like Pez, Hot Tamales, and Double Bubble Bubble Gum.
Okay, I have to bring this up. Who the fuck cares about the dyes? These are dyes.
So there's I believe there's a myth, there's a popular myth that is on the same level as like
Pop
your
rocks
typical
and exploding stomach.
anti-vaxxers. There's about how red dye
Certain
number
dyes.
3, he causes like cancer or behavioral problems or some shit.
Dude, if
It's
that was the case, everybody would be dying of Skittles and overdosing on Skittles. You'd see people in their deathbed with Skittles in their hands. I don't believe that shit, man. These are dyes. These are dyes. They're supposed to turn things into a different color.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things where it's generally, if there was an issue, we would have seen it by now, man.
Well, anyway, talk to you guys later.
See you later. Yeah, I just wanted to say that, and Gavin Newsom is worried about the dyes in his food when he should be worrying about the shit on his streets.
Literal and figuratively.
Anyway, bye.
Yeah.